Bob Thompson, Rudy J, R&R in the morning.
Good morning.
Time to get up.
That's
It's R&R in the morning. Get your ass out of bed. It's Friday. The great day awaits you. Welcome aboard, man. I am so excited. It's Friday. He's Rudy J. That is Karl showing on the other side of the double pane glass. It is Friday. It is a football Friday. High school football begins tonight, and you can catch it right here on ESPN. San Antonio Sports Star is your home for high school football. Man, I'm excited about today.
Me too.
I woke up this morning. Yesterday it was the summer. Today it is fall. I'm just going to go ahead and call it.
Not.
I'm going to go ahead and call it.
Well, I don't know what they have those days. I don't know what day.
Yeah,
what's the day on the calendar?
Fall starts until October.
Oh,
honestly.
okay.
And we do have 100-degree days in our future.
People already drinking pumpkin spice lattes.
And I
hate pumpkin.
You don't see.
I hate pumpkin.
I don't mind pumpkin spice.
Really?
I like the way it smells. I like the way it tastes. But I will say by the time Thanksgiving gets here, it's overload.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just go too far into it because you can walk into your house and have a pumpkin spice piece of pie, drink a pumpkin spice latte, light your pumpkin spice candle, sit down and have a pumpkin cookie. I mean, it gets a little overwhelming by the time we get there. But right now, I'm in. I'm all the way in. Now I'm a little hot in my cashmere sweater.
Yeah.
I'm a little hot in my jacket because I've switched out to the fall clothing.
Yeah.
No, dude, it is here. I feel like we got football tonight.
Starts,
we got football on Saturday. We got some football. Week 0.
Oh gosh.
What
are these the smaller schools starting this Saturday?
A few. We got UCLA playing this weekend.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we got some games.
You've heard of the schools playing. They're just not going to get the big Saturday games except for week 0.
Is Chip Kelly still UCLA?
Yes, he is.
Wow.
This is a big time for UCLA right now as the Pac-12 tries to figure out what they're going to do. And we're going to talk a lot about the Pac-12 today and their relationship with the Big 12. But if UCLA or the Pac-12 is going to stand pat, as we were told yesterday, they're going to have to be led by a bell cow. A couple of those, they're going to have to their upper division is going to have to improve. And that's UCLA, that's USC, that's Oregon, that's Washington or Wazoo. One of those 4 teams are going to have to carry that 12. And
absolutely.
And Kelly has been losing recruiting battles. I mean, he hasn't recruited as well as they thought they would with that great offense. So no, that we got games this weekend. I'm completely
crazy.
psyched.
Who you got tonight, Karl? Who is it?
Johnson versus Wagner at Heroes.
Nice.
That's
at
one
Heroes.
of those. That feels like one of those non-conference SEC Big Ten battles.
I like it.
That's 2 good teams going.
Someone played last night too.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. Who did I see over on? Saw check.
Was it Roosevelt?
No, Roosevelt wasn't playing.
Okay,
I don't.
They played Clemens. I know, but
I think it was Brandeis and.
I don't know, but San Antonio high school football has grown so much. More D1 athletes, more athletes. Period. That's the other thing, and I know you know this as an AAU coach. I think we put too much stress on these kids with the D1. Like going to college for free is going to college for free.
Oh.
I think we should just, and I'm guilty of it too. I'm like, oh man, San Antonio's getting D1. So like, no, if you're going to play football somewhere for free and you get an education for free, be happy.
But there is a pecking order.
Okay.
There is the food chain.
Of course.
And you're right. I mean, the vast majority of scholarships that are offered are to D2 schools where they can give you some money. The D3 schools, it's not necessarily they give you money. They find grant and aid, or they do everything they can to at least make the school affordable to you. It might not be free, but you're paying SAC money. You're paying SAC money instead of Baylor money. So you're going to these little private schools. So there's money to be had at every division. But you do need those D1 schools to come in.
Yes.
You do need them here looking because everybody wants to follow the D1 school. So you got a D1 school, whether high, middle, or low D1, in scouting in a gym or at a football field or a baseball field. Well, if he's there or she's there, then the D2 schools are going to follow. I mean, they're going to be there. Point. So we need those D1 schools.
And they've been here.
And
they've been here in San Antonio, yeah.
And it will only grow. And it's going to grow for a couple of reasons. And one of them is We've just been discounted. San Antonio's just been discounted. There's always been talent.
You know what? I guess that's why I feel that way. I'm like, damn, like there's athletes here.
And I'm going to go out on a limb. The reason that it hasn't been mined, the talent hasn't been reached from here down into the valley.
Okay.
Is the Mexican last name. At least in
I know
basketball.
what you mean. Oh, yes, especially in basketball.
There are ballers that,
they automatically
Rodriguez,
assume
Lopez,
you can't
Gonzalez,
play.
they see that and go, well, tallest he's going to be. If they see 6'1" point guard, last name Gonzalez, they figure
that is true. And that's
there's
messed
a
up.
style, there's a play, and he doesn't fit me. And now other schools will find that, and it's wrong. So what happens is we do get one or two of those guys in here, those high D1 types, and you get coaches and gyms, and they suddenly see this 6'1" Gonzalez, Rodriguez, Lopez, and go, this dude can play.
Right.
This guy's got everything I need.
Right.
Only thing I got to do is convince my head coach that this guy can legitimately play. That goes with football too. But with football, the benefit for us now is Jeff Traylor. Jeff Traylor is a rising coach. He is going to be coaching on national TV on Saturdays sooner than later. And it won't be at UTSA, sadly. Unless a miracle happens and we get a guy like Beamer did over at Virginia Tech. You know, Frank Beamer took Virginia Tech over, stayed there for 30 years and made it into a powerhouse where it wasn't before. And let's pray that Jeff loves his roots in San Antonio, loves him some tacos. Let's get him a big old house and let's not let him leave. But, you know, let's be realistic about this. So with Traylor, as he has decided the 210 is his home field. He has taken the Miami idea. We're going to recruit our kids and keep them here. Sincere McCormick here.
Preseason first team All-American.
Kid coming out of Central Catholic this year who has offers from 9 schools, and it's only getting better. Big offensive lineman. Already committed to UTSA. So when other coaches say, hey, this Jeff Traylor not only is going places, but he's recruiting San Antonio, it brings guys in. It brings them in not only to recruit against him, but maybe kind of get to know the coach too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe sit down and when you get that next gig, if you're looking for an OC or a defensive guy, I might be your guy. So it's a self-fulfilling kind of, it feeds the beast and the beast keeps rolling. So we're in a good place right now with Coach Traylor.
This is as excited as I've been since Frank Wilson's first year because I knew Frank did a great job of recruiting.
He didn't have roots.
That's all it was. With Traylor, this is the most excited I think I've been for a UTSA football season, probably in his existence.
We're going to have him on regularly, either here or on halftime or
wherever.
If you ever hear or have the opportunity to hear Coach Traylor speak, when he's done speaking, you're going to go do something. He's one of those fire-up guys all the time. He just lives that kind of life. Good dude. We're excited about the football coming, baby.
Yeah, good luck tonight, Karl.
Thank you,
Mr. Play-by-Play.
I love me some high school football. It's a good time.
I'm kind of jealous of y'all guys. Y'all get to, kind of, when y'all are doing play-by-play, you and Minix, y'all kind of get a feel for the way the playoffs are going to come out because it's like you've been watching them all year long. You're like, oh, well, this team's at this team. So I'm kind of jealous. So I got to get in there and do some color with you guys sometime this season.
You need to.
Yeah, I want to.
Have you done a color? Have you done?
I've done it with my man. I've done it with my man Bobby. He does the Harlandale game.
Oh, you did Stotzenbergers?
No, not Stotzenberger.
Mendez. Bobby Mendez.
Bobby Mendez.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, shout out to Bobby. So he hit me up the other day. I got to call Bobby. Yeah, I've done that. I was nervous, way more nervous than I am doing this because it's like, okay,
well, you're good at this.
Yeah, I didn't know what was that. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I did it.
I believe I
can do color basketball. Color football is tough.
I don't have the mentality to do either one of those.
Me either. It's totally different.
Because I get lost in the game.
Right.
I can't say what I see and set the table and continue to know what the hell's going on. I can do one or the other. I can't do both. I'm limited. So guys like Karl and Minix, man, that's a skill set.
But see, you're QB, so I think you'd be better at play-by-play because you like to run the show. Well, so I see you as a play-by-play versus a color.
It's a bit more eye to tongue coordination than it is just talking about things about.
Exactly.
And it's a skill set that just does not
me.
Fit
I
me.
can't do play-by-play.
Now, basketball, I'm a much better color analyst because I'm a little bit deeper into it. Play-by-play, again, I get lost in it.
But see, with color, you can see this is what they're running.
Yeah, I
with color, right?
Well,
basketball-wise.
I'm going to set the table for my one season as being the color analyst for the Incarnate Word University football team. great radio guy, legend in San Antonio, Paul Alexander.
Yeah.
The coach.
What's up, Paul?
About 10 years ago, called and said, hey, man, I've got this gig where I'm doing play-by-play for Carnet Word. Would you like to come and do color? Well, I'm a basketball guy first, but I played a hell of a lot of Madden.
That sounds like something I'd say.
So I was like, absolutely, I'd love to just put that on, mark that off the bucket
Put on
list.
the resume. Yeah,
I have done play-by-play or color analyst for a Division I football team, and it was their first year heading into D1. I was terrible.
You think so?
Oh, Rudy, I couldn't pick out a defense if you told me it. I mean, I can play Madden and go, oh, that's Tampa too deep. I know what to do on this one. It doesn't look the same from the press box
at all
up in Alpine, Texas. It doesn't really flow when you're doing the West Texas A&M game. It's not Madden. So I offered absolutely nothing. I couldn't tell you what defense. I could tell you who made the tackle after the stat guy told me his name. I couldn't tell you why he made the tackle. Right. So it was 10 games of mediocre color analysts and talking about what's going on in the stands and the band and the football. I wasn't good. It was fun, I'll tell you, but I realized at that point, realize your limitations. And it wasn't something that I ever wanted to do to work on. So I have my one season and
But that does everybody doesn't have to be Romo though, right?
Like well, Romo, now you do.
See, Romo set the bar high, like, oh, they're going to the right here. It's expected to throw it down the middle. I'm like, damn, Romo, like you making it hard on color. Like I love Troy. I don't think Troy doesn't do it that way, but we just love Troy, and him and Joe just go together like peanut butter and jelly. Because Troy doesn't really break down. Does he?
No one did up until Romo. Okay. No color guy ever went, they're about to run right. Yeah. No one ever did that. Only Romo got away with it. And I think if Romo would have gone through the normal channels of becoming a color analyst, where you start with the C team with Big Dan Jiggett's on the call, you're doing the Carolina Tampa game when they were awful. You're not getting the lead games. You're learning your craft.
I know what you mean.
Well, Romo was thrown right into the big games.
So he just talked football. So he just knew what he knew.
He was being a coach. He was like, they're running right. Tell the defense they're running right. You know what I mean?
But it worked.
I wonder how long he will be able to do that.
Right.
As he gets further and further away from the game. When he jumped into the booth right off the sideline. So he had been scouting these guys and been looking film much deeper than you would as an analyst. And you could tell. I mean, the guy was in the game. And last year and the following, it's still been good, but I wonder if 4 years from now,
him.
Worth it too. Absolutely
He's
worth
good. I like watching Romo.
But I wonder how long he'll be able to do. As
offenses change and defenses change, I got you.
But at that time, he'll have grown his skill set and get a little bit better. A couple other things going on in the baseball world. Chris Sale is coming off an injury.
That's insane.
He is, for the third time, he has had, what are they calling it? It's not the perfect inning. They have a perfect name for it, but 9 pitches, 3 outs. He's done it 3 different innings to do that. Only Sandy Koufax has ever done anything like that.
At that level, that's amazing.
Baseball's heating up.
We just talked about it before the show, so I'm like, damn, October is around the corner. September's next week.
You can just kind of get the sense that in that natural calendar of the sports world that everybody knows as September is around the corner, it is time to turn up the heat on the baseball. Yeah. And you can just get that sense watching highlights. There's a little bit more intensity in these games.
Yeah, John McClain was saying he wants Stroh's Yankees. The Yankees are on fire, but he said for him, he wants to see Stroh's and Yankees. John McClain, Houston Chronicle, yeah.
Absolutely, we want to see Stroh's and Yankees. I wonder if the Strohs
I don't know.
Stay hot. Yankees certainly turned hot, didn't they?
Yeah, they got hot.
See Schwarber throwing some heat for the Dodgers. I'm still mad at that.
Scherzer, yeah, man. That's not fair.
I'm still angry with all of that. As we sit on a Friday morning, we're so excited. We got the weekend in front of us.
Season, baby.
We got football coming, but you need the news. The news. It's Friday, so you're going to be, you're not going to be doing a whole lot of work. So when you get to work and you are trying to fill your time looking busy, you need the headlines to discuss amongst your cohorts. That's what Karl's done. It's the 411 and the 210.
Here's the 411 in the 210.
Headline 2, this happened after the show yesterday. Quarterback Ryan Tannehill among 9 from the Tennessee Titans players and staff to test positive for COVID-19. Tannehill, who is vaccinated, will miss 5 to 10 days depending on how quickly he can produce 2 negative tests over a 48-hour span.
So if you're vaccinated, you test positive. If you can get 2 negatives in a 48-hour span, you can come back.
I guess that has to be something along the lines of a 5-day minimum as well. So it seems weird that if all of a sudden tomorrow he gets 2 more tests, and I don't understand it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't either.
Didn't Chris Paul kind of go through that when
Chris Paul went through that?
When he tested positive, it was just a couple of negative tests that he had to go through after a 4-day waiting period.
Okay, that's what I thought. Because I know I'm not going to act like the Facebook University, but I know you have to wait a few days to see if the symptoms kick in. Because if you don't have any symptoms, you get 2 negative tests, you can still pop up positive 4 days from now.
True. And
again, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but that's what I've seen.
I can go off of the thing that I just went through when I got contact traced.
Right.
I never tested positive. The doctor that I went, my doc, told me that the Delta does seem to hit you a little bit quicker than the other variants.
Oh, okay.
So
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Kinda.
So you know a little bit quicker. So for him, he was like 5 days. After the 5 days, couple of negative tests, I think you're going to be okay. Where the other variant, you did need to wait 10, 11 days because it could be that long. And it still could happen with the Delta variant but in his experience, in his limited practice, I'm not saying this is Facebook and fact. He told me, look, after about 4 or 5 days, we're finding if you haven't tested positive, you probably don't have it, especially if you're vaccinated. Go get vaccinated. Did you hear 45 people have died in San Antonio in a 36-hour period this week, and every one of them was unvaccinated. Go get your vaccine.
I didn't hear that.
Every one of them that passed away earlier this week, unvaxxed. What more do you need?
And just one more note on that. Poison control in Texas is up 550%. So please don't get your information from Facebook
or your local veterinarian.
What's poison control?
You have to call them when
dewormers.
Yeah, you ever call somebody? It's like, hey, I ingested poison. It's not 911. There's a specific number just for if you were poisoned.
Oh,
if you ingested something.
Gotcha.
I'm ashamed I don't remember that number because we had it all over a house. You know, when you have little kids. My wife had it like little stickers, the poison control number that you were supposed to call.
That's good parenting.
Well, the good parenting was just make sure you're not in a position to eat a Tide Pod or something like that. So my wife was concerned when I was alone that might happen. So there was a lot of phone numbers. My wife, and it's Mama Bear. I understand. Never was mad.
Take care of her baby.
She had this terrible fear. When my oldest was first born, I would take him in the morning to daycare. And she was very afraid that I would forget to go to daycare and just go to work and leave him in the back of the car, which I guess is a possibility.
I did that.
Well, she called me every day. You dropped him off, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, yeah.
Dude.
Did you pass up the date? You went straight to work?
So I'll tell this story later. I want to get through the 411, but I'm gonna tell this story later. I want to get through but remind me to tell the story.
Scrape off a scab, man. I don't want to bring up an unfortunate memory.
She's fine. She's 25 now.
So
it was the first one.
So I'll tell you the story later.
Moving on.
All righty. Headline 1, ready to rock and roll. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott returns to team drills without a pitch count.
Yeah.
Of course.
I think they circled yesterday. 3 weeks ago.
I asked Mickey about that. I was like, Mickey, I don't want to ask you about Dak, but I'm going to ask you about Dak. He was like, hey, he looked great in 11 on 11.
Yeah.
He said he even threw a 30-yard bomb to someone. I forgot who he said he threw the 30-yard bomb to. Didn't seem like he was any uncomfortness. So, Mickey says he's good. I'm going to say he's good.
You hang around coaches and trainers long enough, you get to know when they're lying to you, when there is this genuine concern. And from the moment that happened, everybody involved was like, yeah, he's tired. Arm's tired. A little bit of a strain. There's nothing to worry about. We'll just shut him down. And it's turned out, at least till now, we still don't have the proof. We'll see that against Tampa a week from yesterday.
But it's weird to see Joe Burrow going to play in preseason, but not Dak. You know what I mean? Because Burrow's coming off a torn ACL, MCL, and he's going to play, but Dak is not playing with the shoulder.
Well, the reason I use the word pitch count is because the Cowboys apparently went to Texas Rangers and New York Yankees doctors to make sure that they didn't mess this up, because it's such an interesting injury that it's more common among pitchers than it is football players. So that's probably where, you going back to what you said, Rob, there's some uncertainty in how to manage the injury. In fact, if you remember all the way back to the first episode of Hard Knocks, the trainer was guessing which body part it was that he actually got hurt. He's like, I'm not sure if it's a shoulder, tricep. So there was some speculation among the training staff that it might have just been fatigue, but it was just a latissimus strain.
It was a slight strain, and when what they learned from the baseball types was, this isn't an injury you manage, this is an injury you shut down. And once the baseball guys told the football guys, look, don't let him throw it all. You can't manage this. He has to get completely well. Once they knew that, they shut it down. They probably said 3 weeks.
After last year, you're like, we ain't taking any chances.
Right.
Go sit down.
But from our guys with the Cowboys, Joe Trahan, to their training staff that we, you get those, we call them lemonade talks, walking talks, a little bit behind the scenes stuff. Nobody was ever worried. Those guys, I mean, there's legitimate concern for your $140 million quarterback, but they never acted like, oh no.
Gotcha.
And you could tell by the fact that they didn't go chase a backup quarterback, and that position is far from settled. Moving on.
And headline 0, Real Madrid and PSG are nearing the Kylian Mbappe transfer on €180 million deal. Or is this pounds? I don't know what the symbol is. But
I've heard that now they offer 212 and Real Madrid offered 212. PSG was like, that's not enough. They're looking for like 259. But Frank just let us know, Karl, that the Ronaldo one still isn't done.
Not yet.
It could be done today. And yes, that 180 million euros or pounds or whatever it is 100 or $212 million.
Yeah, but I think in PSG's won 259. So, but it's weird to see Mbappe wanting out with Messi coming in. Maybe Mbappe's kind of like got some Kawhi in him. Like, I don't want to play with LeBron.
It sounds like he got mad when they brought in another striker because this is his legacy you're starting to mess with instead of, oh, hey, I'd love to play on a super team. He's like, no, I'm going to miss my touches.
Because he's the next, right?
Yeah, one of them. Definitely one of them. So when I found out he wanted out, I was like, oh, he didn't. Judson versus DeSoto tonight. Wow. Thanks, Billy.
Big football.
Yeah, when he wanted out, Karl, I was kind of shocked. Not everybody wants to be on the super team, huh? He got some Giannis in him.
I guess that's the case.
Got some Dame Lillard in him.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah. This is my team. Yeah. I'm writing my legacy, and I'm not going to wait for Messi to pass me the ball.
And I'm coming off a World Cup.
Through that.
I'm coming off a World Cup.
And what did he get? Like the golden boot?
Yeah, he was a problem.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
The golden
boot?
Looks
like Barbosa. That looks like Leandro.
I wonder what Leandro's up to.
Spending money.
That's the 411. Oh, no kidding. The 411 and the 210.
Good stuff, Karl.
Got it all put together. We're going to look very closely at the Big 12. We thought that there was a possibility, though it still probably is as good as it was yesterday, that the Pac-12 or some other conference would come calling the 8 teams that are left hanging around in the Big 12. Well, that's not going to happen. Pac-12 announced yesterday that they are not looking to expand. So what happens to Baylor and Texas Tech and Kansas and Iowa State, the schools that are ripe to be plucked? No one wants to pluck them. So they're going to have to expand. We'll look at the possible expansion, who they might be looking to, and I'll tell you, it seems to be the usual suspects. Last night you gave away some Dallas Cowboy tickets, right?
Sure did.
How'd it go?
It was a blast.
Was it fun?
We had a blast. We did. We ran a little content because I'm sitting here and I'm like, because before you left, you're like, I want you to do some Cowboys trivia. So I'm looking like, hey, I'm gonna do some Cowboys trivia. And then I start practicing my Rob Thompson. It's the little blitz thing, and I couldn't do it. And I was like, hey, Mike, Gwen, why don't we run a imitate Rob contest to win, and we'll pick the best one, whoever we feel is the best. And actually, the guy who won, Mitchell Furr, he's tuned in on YouTube. So congrats, Mitchell. Enjoy the game in Jacksonville. But the phone lines blew up with people trying to imitate that. And first of all, no one came close, but there was some good ones. Like I said, Mitchell, and I want to say it was Corey. Mitchell and Corey were pretty darn good. But see, I come to find out, players let me know, Mitchell been listening to you and Minix for years.
I think Mitchell has actually yelled at me and said that.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun listening to people do the imitations. We had a blast on the blitz yesterday.
You don't even have to imitate me. You can just go to sasportstar.com. We have tickets to every Dallas Cowboys home game, and it's so simple to win. we'll have opportunities for you to sound like Rudy J next or sound like Karl Show. You can tell us your favorite vegan recipe or your favorite cigar, whatever it takes. Yeah. But right now, the easy way is go to sasportstar.com and get yourself registered. You can win tickets to every home game, and it's just another way and another reason it pays to listen to San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM all day, every day, as a T-shirt is apt to tell you. Let's come back talking some college football. What is the Big 12 to do? And if they are going to come back to the Big 12 status, what will make them big? Maybe it's the biggest university in Florida. You might be surprised as to who that is. We'll talk about it next. This is San Antonio Sports Star, and you're on ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The Texas Rangers ended their 6-game road trip last night in a 10-6 defeat coming at the hands of the Cleveland Indians. Jordan Lyles got the start for Texas, but only pitched 3 2/3 innings, allowing 9 hits and 8 runs. Cleveland scored 4 runs in both the first and the fourth innings to put the game out of reach from the Rangers. Texas will return to the friendly confines of Globe Life Park Friday night to host the AL West leading Astros. The Rangers are currently shorthanded with 4 players on the COVID injury list that includes starting pitchers Mike Folinovich and Drew Anderson. And the San Antonio Missions fell last night to the Midland Rockhounds 3-2. They continue their series against Midland tonight with a Fernando Tatis Jr. Flying Chonkos jersey giveaway night. Those are your baseball headlines. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Karl Sonnen.
Well, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio, like where this ad plays. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Yes, radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
According to NHTSA, a new car crash is reported every 56 seconds in Texas. Thomas J. Henry handles serious auto accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. To learn more or start your claim today, visit tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Looking for a protein-packed snack to power you through the day? Of course you are. Only Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have the bold flavors that stand out in the Me Too snack aisle. Sea salt and cracked black pepper, pineapple ancho chili, pasilla chili cheese, and more. Take your snacking to higher flavor levels with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. And keto fans, you're going to love this low-carb crunch. Visit your local HEB and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rinds.
Southern Recipe pork rinds.
Pro football season's here, and pro roofers save valuable time with Beacon Pro Plus. Beacon Pro Plus works 24/7 for material ordering, order history, and automated promotion tracking, so you can get your favorite GAF roofing products even when working remotely. And now, order on Beacon Pro Plus and get a $175 gift card and a chance for a VIP pro football getaway. Gear up and raise your game with Beacon Pro Plus today. Build, score, and win at BECN.com.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
When your AC fails in the San Antonio heat, there is no time to search. Save Service First in your contacts and have an AC tech on speed dial 24/7. Service First. Save us before you need us.
Have Service First in your phone. 521-1500.
Prescription products require an online consultation. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
Think you might have ED? Not sure? Well, we'd like to let you in on a little secret. ED is common. About 40% of men experience ED by age 40, but the solution is simple. Find it at 4hims.com.
I didn't have to talk to a doctor in person. There was no copay, and the medication was shipped right to my door in discreet packaging.
Hims took care of it, fast and easy. Now our love life is better than ever.
Get access to doctors online who can prescribe you FDA-approved ED medication if appropriate. The same active ingredient as name brands, but 90% cheaper. Skip the waiting rooms and pharmacy lines. Get a free medical consultation and rise to the occasion or your money back. Go to 4hims.com/radio to get your first visit free. No copay required. The only way to get this special offer is to go to 4hims.com/radio. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
30 for 30 podcasts and The Undefeated present The King of Crenshaw, a 4-part podcast series that focuses on how the late Nipsey Hussle's life, death, and legacy deeply impacted the sports world. Listen to 30 for 30 podcast brought to you by DoorDash. It's the summer of Dash Pass, and members are getting $10 off groceries, alcohol, and pet food because summer. Try Dash Pass for free and get year-round savings, exclusive menu items, and 0 delivery fees now in the DoorDash app. Terms and conditions apply.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required, actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
A double shot of energy in the AM. Rob Thompson, Rudy J, R&R in the Morning on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Little Lenny Kravitz. It's R&R in the Morning.
Have you seen Lenny? He looks like that's a dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, love my wife.
Yes.
Love women. Lenny is a dude.
Lenny is.
Lenny is a dude. I looked at, I think he was like turned 55 or something. He had his shirt off. The dude is just the hair, some of the clothes he wears only Lenny can wear.
I feel like some days I look like that. I know I don't. But some days I feel like, when you ever have those buttoned up days where you're like, I am wired tight today. And the best I could ever do is Lenny hungover after a 3-day party. The best I could ever look is the worst Lenny Kravitz will ever look.
Dude, I had a dude tell me yesterday because I posted a pic because I didn't have any pictures with Jason by myself. So I posted the picture of us three at Noble.
I saw it. Yeah.
Dude commented, Rob looks like the type of dude that'll steal your girl without even trying. Because remember you had on your white blazer. And I was like, oh, really? That's how y'all see Rob? Y'all see Rob as a playboy?
I appreciate that. I have never stolen anything worth any kind of value like that ever in my life. I couldn't even begin that. Although I like that idea. Honey, you listening? You seeing it? I'm looking for a better weekend than last weekend. My wife and I fought all last weekend.
So are you doing happy hour this week? What are you doing? If she asks you to go, you better skip that nap.
Showing up.
You better skip that nap.
I was grumpy all weekend. Went out without me and didn't come home till late. Texted back, LOL, you should have come out.
That's the worst.
Instead of just coming out. Yeah, my wife still is on me. All right, let's talk about some sports. And
let's go. Big 12.
The ramifications of this are going to play into your fandom, whether you're a Texas fan or you're an LSU fan or any of the other schools across the country. As the Big 12 was left high and dry with OU and Texas looking to leave the conference here in the next 3 years. As soon as they can come up with bail money, they're gone. Yeah. As soon as they can fill up the schedule and get it going. And I do want to talk about the potential scheduling, what the SEC is looking at doing when they finally do add Texas OU. They're looking at either a pod system or a standard play everybody every 8 years kind of thing.
That's cool. I can dig it.
But as the Big 12 is sitting and trying to figure out what they're going to do, it is painfully obvious that the rest of the conferences view them as a dying carcass. Because as the Pac-12 and the Big 10 and the ACC gathered together, trying to come up with some sort of gentleman's agreement held together by toilet paper. I mean, I can't imagine how this is going to hold up. But they have all come to the idea that for us to fight the SEC in some way, we have to kind of look at each other in the eye and take care of each other, but not put anything down on paper, which tells me nothing is going to happen.
Right.
But the announcement yesterday from the Pac-12 that they do not intend, at least in the near future, to expand, had to be taken and either very positively by Bob Bowlesby, which tells him, look, I still got an opportunity to keep a job. Big 12 is going to hang around because they're going to now have to expand. And now you're going to have to figure out if they're not going to be plucked up by the other conferences, what are they going to do? Well, the last time we talked about conference expansion with the Big 12, the usual suspects have come back up. BYU, Notre Dame Light. You got your Cincinnati, your city school that recruits well and plays well. Lots of rooftops there in the Midwest, and I think the Big 12 would be happy with that. University of Central Florida, UCF. Did you know UCF is the largest university in the state of Florida? They have 61,000 undergrads there. In
Hell of a fun fact. Because I'm thinking Miami, Florida State, Florida. You know, the usual suspects. That's a hell of a fun fact. Did not know that.
So massive school with a growing athletic department, and they have invested millions and millions. They're what UTSA was. They were UTSA 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
So that's what we should be aiming toward.
What they were doing, they were the very same as UTSA. When I was living in Orlando, they were playing at the Gator Bowl. They were playing in a massive downtown stadium where, you know, it hosts all those football games, all the bowl games that you watch over Christmas. They play like 4 bowl games in Orlando. They just keep rotating them through at the Gator Bowl. Big, beautiful stadium. But it was too big, and it wasn't on campus. It was downtown, just like UTSA and the Dome. Not nearly as nice as the Dome, and not a recruiting tool like the Dome is, but still, it was a commuter school that played their games downtown, and they invested in an on-campus stadium. And from that moment,
wait till we get
things changed.
And considering the ACC has fumbled not picking them up, that would be a great get for the Big 12. Because they should be in the ACC. I don't know why the ACC hasn't picked them up, because when you look at some of the ACC football schools, UCF has better athletes than a lot of these ACC schools. And since they dropped the ball, one man's trash, another man's treasure, I think it's only right. That should be one. BYU, UCF.
Easy, right?
Yeah. To me.
Well, no, I think for everybody involved, because there's a couple of things in play. One, you open up the West to the Big 12's TV. And while BYU isn't Notre Dame, and the fighting Irish, the fighting Catholics. I mean, it's the Catholic institution, and lots of Catholic fans of Notre Dame, whether they're football fans or not, they see Notre Dame, they'll watch them because BYU is the same way with LDS and the Mormons. It is Notre Dame light. They bring a lot of fans from all over the country. So that's a good get. So that makes perfect sense. And they are competitive. BYU will put on a good football team. They've actually won a national championship. UCF, in Scott Frost's mind,
BYU just had the number 2 pick in the draft.
So those are 2 schools that you go, makes sense, add them. The other 2 do make sense, though we're starting to get into West Virginia territory. Yeah, they kind of make sense, but it's a long way away. Boise State. Boise State has a place in the football world. It's got a cool little town, got a young Austin vibe going there. They have upsets. They've got lineage. They've got pros in the world. I think it's a fit, though. No matter what, Boise State will always feel small.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I like Boise State.
I do too. I like the blue field.
It makes it, I mean, they're better than.
But do you think of them on the same level? And would you ever be able to think of them on the same level as Baylor? Because are they the biggest name now coming out?
Well, the thing about it is Baylor just won a basketball title too. So no. I'm gonna say no.
So they're gonna elevate.
I ain't gonna
them.
disrespect Baylor like that.
They'll elevate them, and then Cincinnati.
You know what, Cincy? I don't know if they can maintain it, but Cincy's put out a good product the past few years.
You know, we talk a lot about Texas football and obviously the legend of Ohio football, but Cincy wins, Ohio State wins, Youngstown State wins. Those
you
Ohio
put
football
if Cincy's on your schedule, that's a game you worry about.
You're scared.
Yeah.
So if you add those 4 schools to the current roster of the Big 12, it makes it a bit of a super school that can truly use the Big 12 moniker. Does that feel like a Power 5 conference to you?
No.
No, it doesn't, does it?
It still don't feel like power. And it also turns into a conference where if it's not Oklahoma State, it feels like a conference where someone could go undefeated and still be left out of the CFP unless it's expanded. Right. So if we're staying at 4 and you have a school without Texas that's not named Texas Oklahoma that goes 12-0, I can still see them being left out by 11-1 Georgia, a 11-1 Notre Dame, they're still left out.
And I don't think anybody would argue. Only the alumni of the school that didn't make it. I mean, it's just not a stellar conference. And you brought up something that is absolutely valid. It will be okay if you're a Big 12 fan, you're Oklahoma State alum, you're a Baylor alum, if they expand the playoff.
Yeah,
if they expand the playoff, then you're not really all that worried about strength of schedule. And you're still worried about it, but you don't have to have an undefeated team coming out of your conference who had a big win at some point to get the money and the notoriety that the CFP offers, not only the school that's going, but all the money that comes to the other institutions in their conference when one of your schools goes. They have to split that money. Well, the president of West Virginia, a guy named Gordon G. If you have an E or a first initial and a period, you got to have at least 2 degrees, right?
W.E. Du Bois.
You got, W.E. Du Bois. There you go. If you use, no, you're right. W.E. Du Bois. If you got those, you got to have a couple of degrees. E. Gordon Lee, president of a university. He said in an interview with the West Virginia newspaper, and I have to find the name just so you can, it's the Daily Athenaeum. What a fancy name that is.
I like that.
Speaking to the on-campus newspaper, this is a quote, "I'm on the college football board of directors, and I was a strong advocate of the 12-team playoff. I am now no longer because I think this changing environment, we want to keep it very narrow and keep it so there is a lot of opportunity to reconfigure what we're doing in athletics. There now is the wait and see. If conferences are in flux and no one trusts the Big 12 and the ACC and the Big 10 when they say, we're not looking to poach anybody. We're not going to come take a team out of your conference or any other conference. We're going to hold pat and just kind of join together in this loose cartel against the SEC. No one trusts that. So West Virginia, who knows? I'm not sure we're going to have a place in this Big 12. If they're bringing in 3-4 teams, maybe we're exited because travel budget. Who knows? So they're backing out. If the Big 12 is going to survive and be great, they have to be angling right now saying, we got to expand the playoff. Because once we expand the playoff, we can get past that. Yeah. Then I can go to Boise and say, yeah, come on in. You'll have an opportunity. You'll have a chance. You don't have to be great. You just got to be good enough to win this one, and you'll have that shot.
If I'm Kansas and West Virginia, I don't know how their football team, I know they're not very good football-wise, but that still doesn't mean they don't make more money than basketball. But you would think there's certain schools that would make their decision based on what you do best. Like, stay in your lane. Like, if I'm Kansas, I'm basing my decision off of basketball. West Virginia, the same. They still got Hudgens up there. Base your decision off of what you do best, not what you think is going to make you the most money. Again, I don't know. Does West Virginia make money off football?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Okay, sure that's what I'm saying. So it's a tough spot to be in for those schools that prosper in basketball, because you're like, damn, we're better at basketball, but football brings in a buttload of money.
If the Big 12 or the Big 10 was looking to expand their footprint, do you think the Big 10 would help in growing a football program? For like in the Big 12, it's just taken for granted that Kansas is going to win the Big 12 basketball title. Well, they didn't this year, or at least the conference title.
Yeah.
And football is going to have about 800 people, and they're going to go 0-10.
Right.
I mean, it's just that's just what they're going to do. And everybody's fine with that, because we know that on the other side, they're going to dominate in basketball. If Kansas was to move to the Big 10, the beatings would continue, obviously. The basketball side would be great.
That would be awesome.
It would be amazing. It would put them consistent. You name it, Izzo, and you name
Self and Izzo. Come on,
all the great teams that come out of the Big 10 on a regular.
I'll say this, Rob. I think the Big 10 does help, because if Scott Frost figures it out and they catch lightning in the bottle, if Nebraska wins the Big 10, that's a thing. Like, they've made you. That's better than winning the Big 12 or the Big AAC.
I feel like that. True.
So yeah, absolutely, it would help. Again, Iowa State, I don't know what they're waiting on. I don't know why they're not on the phones having Big 10 meetings right now, because they're on to something. Their football program is on to something, and you don't want to waste your glory years in this Big 12 as it stands. So if I'm Iowa State, I'm like, look, I'm gonna go play Michigan, Ohio State. I'm gonna go over there.
Absolutely.
That one makes a no-brainer to me. Iowa State to the Big 10.
So when you see those other 4 schools added, you have to kind of expect maybe that the Big 12, even though they're trying to band together on this life raft to just stay alive, that they're going to jump ship. And Iowa State, probably has the easiest road to go.
They've been on a lot of early preseason top 10 lists.
They're ideally situated in the middle part of the country. They could look east or west. They feel like a natural fall into the Big Ten, but they could easily go another direction to the mountain and be highly competitive and start winning some conference titles in both basketball and football. So I think they're in great situation to go there. We'll continue talking about it. It won't be any fun unless you join in with us. Lots of ways to reach out to us. You can jump on those Kielbasa Bacon phone lines anytime you want. That's 656-ESPN. 656-3776 if you want to go ahead and do the numbers. Or you can reach out via the socials. He's at Rudy J_star. I'm at Rob Thompson ESPN. Karl at Karl ESPN, and that's with a K, of course. We're your home for the Dallas Cowboys. Make sure you're listening and signing up. We got home field tickets all season long. Hey, coming back, the Titans and the Bills, the fines are coming, and it could get worse. COVID is rearing its head as the regular season is around the corner. Hang around with us. R&R in the morning, that's for sure. And you're on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Our shoes have more miles on them than your car does. This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, San Antonio, it's time to get out and grill. This is Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats. Summer is here, and no backyard barbecue is complete without Kielbasa sausage. We handcraft them the old-fashioned way, the same way we have since 1949. You may want to buy a little extra because your family and guests will be coming back for seconds. Try us today. Find Kielbasa sausage at a store near you.
El Wedo's Automotive Paint provides quality coatings and selection of paint supplies for your automotive finishing needs. El Wedo can match any color for that specific work you're doing. And if you own a car painting or body shop business, you have to compare prices with El Wedo's paint supply to start saving today. Come check us out at El Wedo's Automotive Paint for quality coatings and a great selection of auto painting needs. Located at 3108 West Avenue. Call us at 210-749-3116. 210-749-3116. Check us out on Facebook or Google at El Wedo's Automotive Paint.
O'Reilly. It's O Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts, where you can earn double, triple, even up to 5 times O Rewards points on select purchases. Get bonus points on more than 200 items throughout the store, like wiper blades, fuel system cleaners, motor oil, and more. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
School's out for summer! But if your business is running QuickBooks, you'll never get a break. Their manual processes, integration difficulties, and glitchy delays will leave you scrambling for the numbers you need. Failing to graduate to NetSuite will leave you stuck in summer school while your friends party. NetSuite by Oracle is the #1 cloud financial system. No matter how big your business grows, with visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more, NetSuite is everything you need to grow, all in one place. Automate your processes with NetSuite and close your books in no time. 93% of surveyed businesses increase their visibility and control since graduating to NetSuite. Special financing is back. NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind financing program to those ready to graduate.
Head to netsuite.com/radar right now. netsuite.com/radar. netsuite.com/radar.
It's like I blinked and suddenly all my business shifted to e-commerce.
Now my business hours are whenever my customers need me.
My customers want everything now and faster than ever. It's a whole different world.
Your business is changing. The United States Postal Service is changing with it. We're bringing you fast, reliable shipping nationwide, and we're bringing it right when your customers need it. Let's discover new routes. Visit USPS.com/new routes. The United States Postal Service. Priority you.
The year was 1919. Barbasol shaving cream was invented by a dreamer named Frank Shields. The world's first modern shave cream, Barbasol changed the face of shaving forever. A few billion shaves later, Frank's dream lives on. Behind every face is a dream. Barbasol proudly salutes every fearless, self-assured, wide-eyed dreamer all across America. Celebrating 100 years. Barbasol.
And now, a man's thoughts on San Antonio Sports Star. What were you thinking?
That escalated quickly.
This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Karl Schoening on your home for Texas Rangers baseball. San Antonio's Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
R&R in the morning. Got to roll your R's.
Got to roll your R's,
Prove
man.
your puro.
That's a part of being a San Antonian.
San
If you
Antonio.
can't roll your R's, you can't be from San Antonio.
I would like some enchiladas and some salsa verde.
Yes.
Actually, that sounds pretty good. He's Rudy.
It
I'm
does.
Rob. Karl Schoening. That's with a K.
C-Note.
But we call him C-Note around here.
I call him K-Dot.
He looks like $100. Karl Schoening.
Carl.
My,
What's your middle name, Carl?
Thomas.
Carl Thomas.
Carl, where's that? What's the derivation of Thomas? Is that a family name?
I believe it was my grandfather's brother, and my uncle is also Thomas.
Oh, there you go.
Carl Thomas is a famous R&B singer.
Yes, he is.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. And you've got rhythm.
You need to play some Carl Thomas today.
Do a little
Look it up.
step in.
Okay.
Give me some Carl Thomas, Summer Rain.
Okay, I got you.
Summer
Rain.
Carl Thomas.
Middle name, Rudy?
Dwayne.
Dwayne. Family?
No, just mom's. And Dwayne
Is it D-W?
D-E-W.
Okay.
And that's what my closest friends call me when I'm being drunk and annoying. They're like,
Dwayne.
all Dwayne's here. They're like, everybody's time
Rudy
to go
left.
home. Yeah,
Dwayne's
yeah,
here.
that's they call me Dwayne.
Party Rudy.
Yeah, Party Rudy's Dwayne.
My middle name is Christopher.
Christopher?
Which
Family,
pretty
grandfather?
innocuous. No, it's not.
Just mama.
Yeah, sadly. Thank you, Dad, yet again. My mother wanted to name me Christopher Robin after the Winnie the Pooh books. So I've
Shout out to Pops
thank you,
for
Pop.
that.
Thank you
Good
for
looking
fighting the
out,
good
Pops.
fight, and we got that done. But I don't mind Christopher. The only problem is when you're Robert Christopher Thompson, that's a whole lot of letters.
Right.
So in any name fill out block that you have to put in that's official, they always want your middle name. Well, there's never enough room for Christopher and for Thompson. So basically, it always gets cut off. So most of the time in any official document, I'm Robert Christoph Thompson. Looks like I'm some sort of.
How do you have two boys and no junior?
See,
why didn't you go junior?
Well, my mother wanted Christopher Robin. My dad didn't want a junior. He was
He's
like,
just like,
well, we had known some other juniors. He didn't want to know anybody that was called junior. My dad's kind of country. You know, you come up country or you end up either junior or Bubba. You know, Bubba's the big brother, junior's the next one. And he didn't want any of that. So he decided I have a different middle name. My father's Robert Thompson, but I just have a different middle name.
So that means you're not a junior.
And there is another Robert Thompson. That's my nephew, but he goes by his middle name, Hunter.
Hunter.
So we have a Hunter S. Thompson, a Hunter Thompson, and a Clay Thompson. So we just steal other people's names.
That's all good.
Steal other people. That's the derivation. Hey, we're up against it real quickly. I do want to remind everybody, as the NFL is beginning, vaccinated players are currently receive a lot of benefits. You know, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to go through all the protocols that the unvaccinated have to. And one of the better benefits is you're only tested for COVID-19 once every 2 weeks if you've been vaccinated. Now, that doesn't seem to make a lot of sense when the NFL, speaks about all the other protocols that they're dealing with. And we know through the science that even if you are vaccinated, it is entirely possible and almost likely that you're going to get it at some point and not even know you had it. So testing will tell you that even though you can pass it from vaccinated to vaccinated, you're just not going to get sick or as sick as the unvaxxed. So if the NFL is truly on the or on the safety rail, why aren't they testing more? Why aren't they testing everybody more often? One of the benefits of getting vaccinated is you don't have to get tested so often. So I can see them putting the blocks in place to you want to get tested, you want to get back, so you don't have to put the thing up your nose every day.
Every day. They make it rough on you.
On a conference call yesterday, the NFL's general counsel said that they have proposed weekly testing of vaccinated players as the season has begun. His name is Larry Ferrazzani. Says the league has proposed to the union testing fully vaccinated individuals once a week rather than once every 2 weeks. In response to the recent data, the union has been pushing for daily testing. And I understand if I'm with the union. If we're doing all this to play, why aren't we testing every day?
Everybody, every day.
Only
reason I say that is because then if at that point, then I think you're going to have less vaccinated players.
Well,
because it's like if I'm doing the same thing as the unvaccinated guys, and I'm against the vaccination in general, what's the incentive for me to get the vaccination if I'm treated like I'm unvaxxed?
You get to live longer.
Right, but I'm just saying the vaccinated number goes down.
Oh, I think that is a valid concern.
Right.
But that's the only thing that you'd have to deal with. You still would get to go out on the weekends when you're traveling. I mean, there's still all those other benefits.
Good point. Good point.
This seems like kind of, well, we want everybody to be safe, but if we test too often, we might start losing some guys. Like, are we going to test on Mondays? Are we going to test on Fridays? Are we going to test on Saturdays? If we're testing once a week for all of our vax guys, we know that you can be completely asymptomatic and test positive. If we test on Fridays, we might lose a bunch of guys. Are we going to test on Mondays? So maybe you have 5 days to get that negative test, a couple of tests like they're going to adopt. It seems disingenuous by the NFL. If the intent is health, and not just making sure the play goes on, why aren't we testing every day like they did?
They just want to be 100% across the board and not be. They're spending a lot of money in testing. This can't be cheap.
It is not.
Oh, this can't be cheap. So I'm guessing what they're trying to do, just pushing toward the least amount of tests possible. So hey, you vaccinated guys, y'all will go once every 2 weeks. That's going to save us a ton of money.
When I was working at Texas State back at the beginning of the pandemic, they basically had to budget $1 million for all of the tests that they had to do over the course of the academic year.
Oh yeah, I think,
and that's brutal for a school like Texas State.
Oh,
not just
no, it's brutal for anybody. That's
a million out of your budget, especially when you got no income, you got no student ticket sales. $1 million out of your budget, it's a death nail to a lot of these schools.
Right.
Let me give you some numbers. This is according to Tom Pelissero, and these are COVID-19 cases among NFL personnel from August 1st to the 21st, basically during training camp.
Okay.
NFL Chief Medical Officer Dr. Alan Sells says between August 1st and the 21st, there have been 68 confirmed positive COVID tests out of the 7,190 tested individuals across the league. Masks work.
That's a good number.
Yes, it's a great number.
That's a really good number.
Masking and vaccinations work. That's 0.95% incidence rates. That's lower than most all communities anywhere. It's working. The bubbles are working. Of those positive tests, Sills says there is a 7-time higher incidence rate of unvaccinated players to vaccinated. 2.2% and unvaccinated, 0.3% of vaccinated testing positive. The science says you got to test. The science says you got to test. I know it's expensive. I know they're trying to make it easier and easier for those that are vaccinated to get into the protocol and say, well, at least I don't have to do that.
Right.
But I do think they need to reevaluate and go, we need to test a little bit more often.
Yeah, maybe not. I think 14 is a little far.
Seems a little separate.
Like I'm down with 7. 14 is like, dude, you know what? In the climate we live in, 2 weeks is a long time when you're around 100 people every day. That's a long time.
The positive out of that is the protocols and the measures work. I'll say it again.
I trust a industry that makes $10 billion a year over your Facebook University cousin. 10 billion. They make 10 billion. Okay. They're not trying to lose a dollar. The research and testing and scientists they've talked to, I trust them more than Facebook University. Okay.
No question.
And if they're saying that it works, I'm gonna go with the NFL. I'm gonna go with the NFL over Thomas and John. Over what Thomas and John thinks every day 5 o'clock on Facebook. That's just me.
If you're taking a cow dewormer, I'm not listening to you. It's R&R in the morning. San Antonio
I don't even know what that is.
I can't even imagine.
Organic cows don't get worms, do they?
Evidently, if they're taking the stuff, they don't. It's ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. As I sit here today on a Friday, I actually have games to lay money on this weekend. I actually have some money to lay down on active football. If you're as excited as I am, let's talk about where you're going to put that money. I only endorse one sports book. That's all I ever have. It's BetUS. Football's back, baby. It's starting this weekend. You're looking for the lines. You're looking for the props. You're looking for everything to get those juices flowing. Well, guess what? I have an opportunity for you. BetUS is a pioneer in online betting. They've been doing it for 25 years. You want that longevity. You want that integrity. You need to know you're going to get paid. I'll tell you, BetUS.com pays you on time. You also want to have all the live betting. You want to be able to bet on other sports. You're looking around the world, golf, horses, esports, all the prop bets you want. Call today. This is the number you need, 1-800-79-BET-US, 1-800-79-BET-US. I'm excited about this because you call today, you mentioned KZDC. That's us, San Antonio Sports Star, KZDC. You'll get up to 150% in bonuses on your first deposit. They double and a half your money. But all you got to do is call 1-800-79-BET-US, mention KZDC. Nobody beats it. It is time to get busy. The games are here. I bet at BetUS, and so should you. BetUS.com. Join today. Again, that's BetUS.com. Join today. Get your bonus, and thank me later.
Cowboys football is not a gentle game. That hurt. Cowboys football is not soft. Cowboys football is war. Just don't use that helmet as a weapon. When you want total Cowboys football coverage, get it here on the home of the Dallas Cowboys radio network. This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
An accident with a company car, truck, SUV, van, or fleet vehicle is not just another car accident. Thomas J. Henry handles serious company vehicle accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. Visit tjhLaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
I have a friend from high school who suffers with a degenerative and incurable disease, but who has managed to stay upbeat and optimistic in spite of the difficulties. He says that part of his positive outlook on life comes from something a former boss said to him years ago. As you travel down the road of life, whatever be your goal, keep your eye on the donut and not upon the hole. I admit it's a bit trite, but I really like the sentiment. One of the things the Bible reminds us over and over again is that our thought life is incredibly important because what we focus our thoughts on does affect our general outlook. It's not about ignoring or denying the trouble. You always have to be honest and realistic, but it is about addressing the issues with the best attitude possible. And that is one small way to keep the good in your day-to-day life. This is Mark Absher of the MacArthur Park Church of Christ, reminding you that there's more to the donut than the whole. Visit our church online at macarthurchurch.org. The MacArthur Park Church of Christ, connecting God and people.
Welcome to Texas, where your backside will sizzle like bacon when you get in your car, unless you go to Mother's Window Tint, home of the Tint and Alarm Special, where you can also buy a new car stereo. Since 1984, Mother's Window Tint has tinted cars and trucks to keep them cooler and stop the sun from damaging their interiors. Texans like dark privacy window tint. Come to Mother's and get some. Legal and guaranteed a lifetime. Remember to protect yourself and your family. Buy an auto alarm today from Mother's. Starter kill, remote start, GPS locator, 24-hour live monitoring. Save $100 on the tint and alarm package of your choice. Austin and San Antonio stores. MothersWindowTint.com. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
Welcome to a place where everyone deserves to be better protected, where technology has your back, where you can have better protection and keep more money in your pocket, where you can have protection for your car, your home, your phone, and even your digital identity. Welcome to a place where your entire life can be better protected. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Allstate and affiliates offer products and services subject to availability, terms, and conditions.
In here, there are seasonal savings throughout the Home Depot, so you can get back out there for more doing. In here, it's a Weber Spirit Grill. Out there, it's the dinner bell for your next neighborhood cookout. In here, it's a gallon of exclusive Bear Scuff Defense paint and a Lillard White vanity. Out there, it's a rejuvenated guest bath ready for guests. Get back for more doing with store-wide savings for house-wide doing. Only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
O'Reilly. Ready for an oil change? Visit the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to get everything you need. Right now, get 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for just $28.95 and earn double O rewards points with your purchase. Protect your engine against sludge and wear with Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil. On sale now at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like the world is throwing everything it has at you, and to succeed, you need someone to guide you through. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the tech advice to help you navigate whatever challenges you're up against and get you safely to where you want to be. Call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL and do more with modern devices and Windows 10 Pro.
From the Mother's Window Tint Studios, KZDC, we are San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM. Rob Thompson, Rudy J, R&R in the morning.
Good morning.
Don't want to be the green guy on the text message. Don't want to be that guy.
You don't. Is Karl the guy making our text green?
I think he is. Welcome on to R&R in the morning.
Pledge might be.
Oh, Pledge is definitely a Samsung guy.
Pledge and I are on the dark side.
We should take a look. I don't think it's the dark side.
I have great cameras on the dark side.
The Samsungs are rocking phones, and that new one that has the bendable glass. Have
the flip, they've made a few of those. It's pretty cool.
It's magic.
One of these days,
that was possible.
One of these days, I might go to that because it's more compact, but it flips open to like a tablet.
I'm all about the big phone.
Yeah, I need a big phone. I'm blind.
I like the big phone. I like the ability to see the letters. It's more about being old than anything else. But the one that opens up. Have you seen these, Rudy?
I saw it. I looked it up after you told me about it the other day.
I didn't know that was possible.
That is good technology.
I'm sure I'd find a way to break it.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Seems rather
80.
delicate.
I'll be so far behind.
I don't know, man. We're rocking tech heads, man.
Yeah, we are.
We're rocking tech heads. It is R&R in the morning on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Hope everybody's having a fine Friday. This is the last Friday until sometime in late February that you will go into a weekend without a great football game to watch. We have official college football this weekend.
It's on.
It is on. It is hard to imagine. So today's the first day of fall.
Friday night lights.
Let's go. We had
Saturday morning, Saturday afternoons.
We should check our scoreboard. I don't know who won last night, but I watched a little bit of high school football. Chuck McIntyre and Don Harris over on 35 doing the high school football. Will be tonight. It'll be live right here on your San Antonio Sports Star. Getting going at 6:30 with the pregame. Karl Schoening on the call. Kevin Brock doing color, and boy, we got a game for you. Johnson and Wagner. I heard we had somebody reach out. DeSoto and Judson going at it tonight. That's a clash of the Titans.
Yeah, Judson got their hands full. Well, DeSoto got their hands full as well, but DeSoto's have been a powerhouse.
You ever been up to DeSoto High School? We used to play a lot of basketball up there.
No, is it one of those college campus high schools?
Well, it's a big high school, but what is remarkable about DeSoto, and I remember watching a show during the Olympics talking about a high school in Hawaii that has put out like 32 Olympians.
Damn.
Just crazy number of Olympians. You go to DeSoto High School and they have their wall of professional athletes. They put out a lot of, and it's in every sport, man. They do football, they do basketball, they do baseball. They got pros.
Was Kyler DeSoto?
Kyler he was a Plano type, I believe.
Okay, cool.
But lots of football types, lots of basketball types come out of DeSoto. Judson DeSoto, that's a clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
Two of the greatest. This hour, we're digging into lots of college sports. We're going to talk football for sure. Rudy got left out of a meeting, of a fun weekend we're going to get into.
Yeah, I got to talk about that.
Invitations.
Yeah, Wendy, when can you be mad about the no invite?
We got Ryder Cup, golfers forming teams. And can you get along? Can Bryson DeChambeau, almost got the chain there, and Brooks Koepka, they don't like each other. I don't know if they don't like each other to the extent that we see on the Twitters. I do think they enjoy poking each other in the eye.
Right. Have you ever just met someone and just like, I don't like that guy?
Oh, all the time.
And you don't even have a real reason.
Oh, I normally
just rub you the wrong way.
I have a reason, but the real part is
But then have you ever then hung out with them and then you're like, damn, I was wrong?
More often than not, I've been right, but no, absolutely. More often than not, I've been pretty right. I'm a lot like Hannibal Lecter.
How so?
He would eat people if they showed just the slightest bit of trying to find the right word. If they you have to follow the social norms. You have to be genteel.
Right.
And if you kind of step off those lines, Hannibal Lecter would kill you.
Yeah, he eat your brains.
I appreciate when people are socially genteel. And if you step out and when people start doing that stuff, I'll write them off. But I have some very dear friends that when I first met, there wasn't a reason not to like them, but they were kind of aloof and you had to make an effort to get to know them.
Yes. And see, I don't think Brooks and DeChambeau really have a reason other than like Brooks just has a red ass. DeChambeau talks a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Brooks thinks that DeChambeau's a douche. So he's just like, dude, I don't like you. You think you're this, you think you're that. I don't think they have a real reason to dislike each other other than, dude, you're a douche.
A couple of country club douches poking each other in the eye. That's basically the feel I've got. Now I have to root for either one of them because my fantasy football draft relies on one of those guys finishing first in the BMW.
So what is your fantasy football league doing?
Well, this figuring out the draft order. So a lot of leagues will go last to first. You finish last, you get first pick. First place last year gets last pick, or first place last year gets first pick.
Right.
Or you can put your names in a hat and draw them out. Whatever. We always try to find some event to use to find. So this year
the draft
we're using the BMW tournament that's going on this weekend. Everybody got 3 golfers. Their highest golfer, wherever they finish, will rank from 1 to 10, and that'll be the draft order. So if your golfer wins, you're drafting first. I'm sitting in 8th right now with Bryson at 7th.
Is it snake?
Yes, it is snake.
So then that's the only good thing about the bottom. You get that early pick on the way back.
Where would you prefer to draft?
I don't like first. There's a lot of pressure on first. When you're in fantasy, you kind of realize what NFL teams go through. Like, dude, we can't mess this up. You know what I mean? This is my first pick. This guy has to not only stay healthy, but I need him to produce.
Mm-hmm.
I like the middle, so I could kind of I like 4 or 5, so I can see where things are going.
And it also helps that your decision's been made for you.
Pretty much.
You know what? I'm between 3 guys.
If everybody's
and 2
going running back, I'm gonna need me a running back. If everybody's going QB, I need me a QB.
Jerry Rice isn't in the league anymore, so there's not like that super crazy, that's the obvious first pick.
Right. Who's the obvious first pick? There isn't one.
Is
it McCaffrey?
Most of the time, it's the highest rated running back. Yeah. And it does come down to your scoring system. If you're a PPR league, it'll be McCaffrey. If you're just a straight league, it might be
McCaffrey on his
Derrick
way
Henry.
Down with the injuries? Is it Kamara? I don't know who to pick.
I don't like drafting.
I don't like first.
In the middle.
You don't.
I don't like being 5th. I don't like being 6th.
Because then you're in the middle on the way both ways.
Because you're always the last car on the train. There's always a run on something. It starts out, there's a run on running backs. Everybody got to get one. Then everybody goes, well, there might be a couple of straggler picks. Like I'm going to get Travis Kelce. I'm grabbing a tight end. Well, everybody goes, well, yeah, that's good for you, but I'm still going to go follow my plan. So it's running back, wide receiver, a running back, quarterback. And if you're 5th, you're always picking the 3rd best of whatever the run currently happening is. There's a run on QBs, 4 guys pick, and you're like, well, I wanted those 4, so now I'm stuck with Dak Prescott. Wanted them, but so I don't like drafting in the middle. I'd rather be at the end, catch the end of one train, start the next. You know what I mean?
That's a good spot to be in.
Grab the first tight end off the board instead of the last tight end off the board, which seems to be the way that I always consistently land. It's going to be a weird weekend. We don't talk a lot of politics here, but yesterday in Afghanistan, certainly I think most people are going to be paying very close attention to what the United States does over the weekend. And God bless our soldiers and all those that are coming back. And we'll just absolutely leave it at that.
Yeah.
Big football game tonight. Don't forget, we got it live all year long. We got high school football, and Karl Schoening's going to call a football game. Yesterday, you were over calling UTSA and what was it, California Baptist?
California Baptist. And I was told right before the game, they don't like being called Cal Baptist, despite their SIDs and most of their staffs being at calbaptist.edu.
So what
it's
are they?
California Baptist, the Lancers.
So you can't say Cal. So
No,
you're saying California
I would
the
get
whole time.
angry tweets. So it was California Baptist or the Lancers when I was referring to them.
Where is California Baptist located?
Irving, California.
They're in Irvine?
So
Orange
Irvine,
County?
California.
They're in Orange County. And are they a Division I institution?
Yep. Oh, yeah. They're in the Western Athletic Conference.
I had never heard of California Baptist.
Until Karl said it yesterday.
Yeah, they're playing University of Incarnate Word as well while they're in town. And then I think they're going over to UNLV
So
for a
did
match.
you do this in person?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I was there.
I don't know. With 2020, I don't know if we're in person now or what.
Yeah, it's at Park West. However, this new race facility that they have over there,
Sweet, isn't it?
eventually they'll be able to feed all of their cameras to the race facility. So if I wanted to do, say, a softball game followed by a baseball game, they would be able to set that up. But
I'm curious.
Yeah.
Did you find out about that yesterday?
Found out about it last week. This is my second game, but this is last night was the first one to public.
You know, as you do that, was that built into the race system prior to COVID, when remote broadcasting was the thing, but nobody really wanted to do it unless you absolutely had to,
right?
Or did they add to it during the COVID, thinking this ever happens again, we're going to have some kind of production facility that will allow us to broadcast these games remotely?
Shout out to Keith King. He's the guy that hired me. I do not know the answer to that. All I know is it has the ability to do that. So I would assume it was something that they kind of future-proofed. They're interested in future-proofing that building as opposed to having something right now as the best. It's going to be the best in the future.
We all make decisions now based around if the outbreaks never stop.
No, it's funny. I talking about this. I read yesterday. We don't have a new high school this year in San Antonio, but we will next year. The Sonia Sotomayor High School will open up next year. And I saw where they were meeting and talking about where they're going to pull kids from and how they're going to expand their school's reach. And I wondered, as they were building this all last year, if they built in some of those COVID protocols that other schools had to retrofit.
Probably.
I wonder if they're planning for the.
Where is that school going to be? Right.
I don't know. If it's Sotomayor, it's obviously a Supreme Court justice, so it's northeast, but I just don't know where.
Me neither. I just heard about it right now.
Or north side, excuse me.
I was today years old when I found out about that.
Sonia Sotomayor High School. I didn't hear what their mascot is going to be.
Me neither.
Forgive me, my StreamYard.
But man, with a veteran and Harlan, and we've had some new schools pop up over the years.
I moved away to Orlando for several years and came back to more high schools being built over a 4-year period than I think had happened since the Alamo was defended. I mean, I came back to Johnson and Stevens and Brandeis and Brennan, all those. I mean, within just a couple of years, it really grew. Fantasy football draft's going to be going on this weekend, I'm sure.
Oh, plenty.
Don't forget the Fantasy Gods will be live 11 to noon as we get ready for the Dallas Cowboy football game on Sunday versus Jacksonville. Shout out to Mitchell.
Oh, Mitchell.
Mitchell winning the tickets yesterday. If you want to win Dallas Cowboy home game tickets, go to sasportstar.com, follow that icon, get yourself signed up. We got tickets to every home game. You want to go? You got to listen to us here at San Antonio Sports Star. Last hour, we talked about the NFL proposing an increase in testing those that have been vaccinated from 14 to 7. We'll continue to look at that very closely. This hour, we're going to talk a little bit about golf, Bryson DeChambeau and the BMW. Who wins? I got a betting interest on that, but it's time for the Ryder Cup. And the Ryder Cup is golf for non-golf fans.
Yes, you got to love it.
I love the Ryder Cup. I love the individual start, and I like the team, the duos, when they go out and they hit each other's balls and all that kind of stuff.
And you can be loud, you can scream, you can curse.
Respect.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not that, put your phones away, golf. Like, because when I go play golf, the radio is on.
Yes.
Someone might be talking in your backswing. Someone turns their hat around backwards by hole 5 because their round is already shot. Ryder Cup feels like that to me.
Do you have a cigar in your mouth when you swing? Can you do that?
When I swing, no.
No, okay.
Because the smoke kind of billows into your nose, and then you start coughing.
So you guys don't have.
I'm not that good.
You don't have
I'm
the
not
T
good at
bets
all, but
where everybody got to have a cigar in their mouth. See who does that one, or 2 cigars.
Hell no.
You got to putt with 2 cigars in your mouth.
No, I've never done
that.
I'll try it. I'll try it. I'll try anything.
Tougher. If somebody's hot putting, just give them a couple of cigars. Say, I'll give you $50 if you can hit it with 2 cigars.
No, I smoked the entire 18, but not while I'm hitting. I might putt while I'm smoking. But
where do you put your cigar when you're hitting?
They have these little clips.
So you have that?
You have a little clip where you put it down so you don't have to. But I also throw it on the ground. I'm a country boy. I pick it up, put a little grass in my mouth, spit it out.
Will you chew a cigar and not smoke it?
No, I did that once and I almost died.
Did it make you like queasy?
Yeah,
like you were dipping?
Queasy. The room was spinning. That non-smoking, it'll get you. I don't know how guys do that.
My grandfather just chewed cigars, never smoked them.
Really?
Yeah, they just got shorter as the day went on.
It's crazy. That tobacco gets in you, and it'll send you spinning. You need a big old glass of sweet tea or some water. I did that dry smoking. That's what it's called. It gets you, man.
It's called
like dry smoking.
I need to join Botello Franklin for some golf. He says, if I don't have a cigar and whiskey in my hand while talking crap to my friends, it's not golf. That's not. Botello. I've never played golf like that. I need to play golf like that.
Do you play?
I have a set of clubs. I have not played in a while. So I need to get back out there.
Since I started over here, I haven't played. Rob working me to death. I ain't played.
You got to get off. You have to be off.
Yeah, I have to be off even to get invited.
Well, you have to be invited to go play.
Yeah, I can't even get an invite. And these are guys that I call my friends.
Carl, I recommend you start drinking heavily while you're playing golf.
It'll make me better.
Certainly loosens your back up. I'll give you that. Hey, let's get you caught up with the headlines. That lots of stuff happened overnight, and you missed it all. That's why Carl's been at work since 4 a.m. Let's get the 411 and the 210.
Here's the 411 in the 210.
A couple of these headlines are actually from today. We'll start with this one from Adam Schefter. He says that Jameis Winston has been named the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints.
Rob, you were on this a long time ago.
Taysom Hill, it was never going to be the starter. I congratulate Sean Payton for making everybody think it was a possibility. But the option offense, last I checked, doesn't work very well in the NFL. So congratulations, Jameis. Just throw more to your guys than the other, and you'll have a gig all year long.
Yeah, I thought it was a competition. He fooled me. I thought it was a competition, but every competition we thought was a competition wasn't.
No.
We're naming all, like Bridgewater starting, Dalton starting,
Trevor Lawrence,
now Jameis. It was cool to push the guys, but they all went chalk. Everybody bet on went in. Only one that was kind of on the fence was Justin Fields. But other than that, everybody that we thought was going to started.
49ers are still taking their time to name it to the public.
It's Garoppolo.
Garoppolo starting. Then he started.
When Sean Payton had the nuts, the balls to turn to a camera and say, this Taysom Hill reminds me a lot of Steve Young. I'm out. All right, that's it. You went too far. I was with you when you were saying he was developing and turning into a pretty good offensive weapon. But when you went Steve Young, you're selling me too much, man. I'm out. It's Jameis. Moving on.
Headline 1, Chris Paul tells Time, which is not a magazine anymore, I suppose. I guess they still make magazines.
It's not. Wow.
Well, they make magazines, but they prefer to be called Time instead of Time Magazine.
Okay,
Tells Time, now that I've gotten a taste of the finals, I'm sort of addicted. I think he might go through some withdrawals, gentlemen.
Wow. So you don't got Phoenix going back to the finals?
I want to say this
early.
is Denver's year. If Jamal Murray comes back and he plays at a Jamal Murray level, he probably won't.
You think they can beat the Lakers?
And I say the Lakers are my favorites if they're healthy, but they're in for a long 82 games this year.
Who, the Lakers?
The Lakers.
I think the Lakers. Before you buy a Laker ticket, just know that on any given night, three of the people you want to see could be on load management. There's going to be a lot of low managing vocals going to have to deal with throughout the season.
I pay no attention to them until
March. I wouldn't buy a Laker ticket. I wouldn't be like, Lakers are in town. I want to see that team. 4 of them might sit out. But I like Denver a lot, man.
They're going to have – this is the make or break year for Denver. They got to do it or they're going to have to rearrange the deck chairs.
Yeah.
They've done exactly what I want San Antonio to do. They followed a process. They didn't go crazy in free agency. Their stars are drafted. When you look at Jamal and Jokic and now Porter, But if those three can't get it this year, one of them needs to go. And it won't be Jokic and it won't be Jamal Murray, I don't think.
No, it won't be those two.
So Michael Porter Jr., he might end up getting moved.
Don't forget they made the trade for Aaron Gordon as well at the deadline.
Yeah, that's true. They did add that one last piece. I'll give him that.
And I don't know if Chris Paul goes crazy if Jamal's out there, if he's having to deal with Jamal on the other side. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of work to have to put in. So, but, man, Phoenix was good, man. The West should be exciting. All I know is there's going to be some good basketball next year.
The Warriors will be back.
The Warriors.
If Klay Thompson doesn't get another season-ending injury before the season.
I've seen some video of him. He ain't forgot how to shoot.
Nope.
No.
You can play till you're 50 if you can shoot.
Could anything be more obvious than Chris Paul saying the finals got good to me? Of course. Oh,
It's
you want to
good
go
to
back, do
everybody.
you? You
Yeah.
like that, did you?
He ain't Tony Parker.
No, he is not Tony Parker. Congratulations, Chris Paul. You did it, and I'll see if you can get it again. Moving on.
Tony Parker would have put up Chris Paul numbers. That's another conversation, Rudy.
You know what? We're going to have that conversation.
Oh, hey, you're on halftime with me today. I'll make sure it's a
Yeah,
topic.
let's do that.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Sounds good. Headline 0. This one comes from Field Yates. The Cowboys have converted $8.6 million of running back Ezekiel Elliott's $9.6 million base salary into a signing bonus, creating $6.8 million in 2021 cap space. Dallas adds more flexibility as it heads into the season with roster cut downs around the corner. Todd Archer, who's a NFL mind of sorts, he says this is likely more about carrying over unused cap space to 2022, not adding a free agent of note or trade. But you never know. Flexibility is still there, I suppose. That's
So
me adding that last part.
Who restructured Dak or Zeke?
Did I say Dak? Ezekiel Elliott.
I think
so
when you
Zeke
told
restructured.
us during the break, you said
I
Dak.
thought
Oh,
they'd
did I say
already
Dak?
gone to
My
Dak.
mistake.
But
Zeke.
right now you said Zeke.
Zeke
Okay.
is the one who did.
That makes sense because when you told us during the break, I was like, wait, they just paid Dak and they already going to him to restructure?
Well, that's why I told y'all not to mention it till
Yeah,
the
that's all
411
good.
because I had it written down in red.
Okay,
That's all
so
good.
Zeke restructures, and they're telling me this is about next year.
Yes.
After what I've seen from the backup quarterbacks,
Todd Archer's the one who said it's about next year, and this is Field Yates saying it gives them flexibility going into the season.
and Archer is an esteemed NFL
No,
reporter. I trust him.
He was at Nobu.
Yeah. I will say this: I do believe they're looking at some kind of backup quarterback situation. That gives them a little bit of money right now in case somebody falls in their lap. That's just my guess. But go ahead, Zeke. And he didn't give up anything. He just took upfront cash. A little bit.
You want to be? Oh, some of that 9. You want to give me 6 of it right now today?
I'll take it.
Let me get that.
Let it build in the bank.
Go get a quarterback.
But Rob, help me out. You're a numbers guy. Does that hurt me tax wise?
Oh yeah.
Even though
He's
it's still the same, I'm still getting 9 this
Dude's
year.
paying 40% no matter what. He's just paying a little bit more. He's going to pay it no matter what.
When are we taking Uncle Sam to trial? How come he hasn't been taken to trial? Uncle Sam just robs people. Like, when does he go on trial for some of the things he's done to the world?
Well, that money does go toward highways and hospitals.
Are we sure?
And
Is there proof of
military.
that?
Yeah, it is your taxes. I mean, you got to. It's also funding a bunch of stuff you don't like, but it's also funding us a bunch of stuff. Yeah,
Like, if
I
you were
don't know,
making if
man.
you were making $1 million a year, how would you feel scratching a check for $300K every year?
it is what it is. I will do everything to avoid.
Okay.
There's loopholes. I mean, that's why there's accountants out in the world. I will gladly invest and depreciate a lot of stuff, saying I'm losing and I'm not.
Again,
But
I don't, we don't do politics, but the older I get, the more conservative I get in some ways. And I don't want to give you $300K of my $1 million.
That's why you open a business in Panama.
I think that's illegal.
No. It's actually very illegal, but that's a whole nother story that we don't have time to get into.
Open a business in Panama.
I don't know about that.
Do a little bit of import-export business with some motorboats and airplanes. I'm not saying what it is, but it's not taxable unless they put you in prison for it.
He said 40% no matter what.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
He's still putting a lot of money in the bank. It's not like he is poor. No, but you're right.
True.
You're right. But
No,
there is
but that's what CPAs are for. Hide it.
There's tax evasion. That's
Oh, no,
illegal.
that's illegal.
Tax avoidance is a fun game to play.
Ronaldo got in trouble. Ronaldo and Messi got in trouble for some taxes.
That is the Panama story.
Okay, that's what they were doing.
The Panamanians and the banking system that began under what's-his-face, Noriega.
Oh.
They were laundering money from superstars all over the world. They were hiding some of that money. And you think 40% tax rate in the United States is high? Go pay some taxes in Britain. Go pay taxes in Spain. That's socialism. They take a little bit more of that pie.
Gotcha.
A little bit more. Get a little bit more from the
I
government.
don't have those problems.
No, that's
I don't have
RPP.
those problems. Be clear, like I'm not making that kind of money where I have those problems. But if I was, I sympathize with it.
They don't have the
Karl trying to get us audited.
no kidding. Is the IRS up
First of
this
all,
early in the morning?
Uncle Sam, that was Karl Schoening at Karl ESPN that made the statement about Panama.
I don't make enough money to open a business in Panama, but that's where like all the billionaires hide their money.
Okay.
If you have a business in Panama, you can basically just say all your profits go there, and you can withdraw whenever.
You're the big
Karl been watching too
I
much.
was wondering why all your checks get mailed to Panama City. I wonder why we had to change.
He direct deposit.
Direct deposit in a Panamanian bank. And why are we paying you a Dogecoin again?
For real. For real.
That is the 411. We got
Good
more
stuff, Karl.
That is what we
Nope,
do.
that was it on Zeke of all things. We went way off the rails on that one.
That's what we do here on R&R in the morning. Coming back, when do you have the right to be angry about not being invited to something that you didn't want to do anyway? We're going to talk about that next. Here's R&R in the morning.
We didn't put it like that. I don't even want to do this segment. I'm out, man.
San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Sports Center is brought to you by Kielbasa Slow Crafted Sausage, available at your local grocery stores.
The Texas Rangers ended their 6-game road trip last night in a 10-6 defeat coming at the hands of the Cleveland Indians. Jordan Lyles got the start for Texas, but only pitched 3 2/3 innings, allowing 9 hits and 8 runs. Cleveland scored 4 runs in both the first and the fourth innings to put the game out of reach from the Rangers. Texas will return to the friendly confines of Globe Life Park Friday night to host the AL West leading Astros. The Rangers are currently shorthanded with 4 players on the COVID injury list that includes starting pitchers Mike Folinovich and Drew Anderson. And the San Antonio Missions fell last night to the Midland Rockhounds 3-2. They continue their series against Midland tonight with a Fernando Tatis Jr. Flying Chonkos jersey giveaway night. Those are your baseball headlines. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Karl Schoening.
Do you feel stuck? Are you living in pain? Stop. Call my friends over at Ross to get that taken care of. Arasti providers are passionate. They are expert at resolving those chronic pain and soft tissue injuries like sprains and pulls, those everyday injuries that so many of us try to live with that just will not let us go. Arasti can get you fixed. With Arasti, you get back to doing the things that you need to do quickly. I'm talking about remarkably quickly. If you're like me and you've dealt with lower back issues, I've got a little bit of sciatica, but I've got more of a lower muscle issue that it's something that I'm never going to get rid of, but I can and have learned how to get out of pain in a much quicker way. Arasti taught me that. Arasti is non-invasive. It's more of a deep tissue massage combined with chiropractic and other medical practices. What it means to you is no long-term rehab, no surgery, no over-the-counter medications. They fix the pain. And when they fix the problem, the pain goes away. They accept most insurances, and when you go, you're never going to need a referral. So go ahead and make that call. If you woke up this morning still limping around, hobbling around, you can be fixed in a matter of 3 visits to an Arasti provider. Write this number down. 1-800-404-6050. 1-800-404-6050. At Arasti, you'll always be treated by someone who is an expert at the latest and most effective approaches to soft tissue injuries. If you're a young athlete, you've got a young athlete in your family as the fall sports begin, I'm sure they've got wonderful athletic trainers, but nothing the likes of which an Arasti provider can offer you. So if you're dealing with something that needs to truly get back in the game, use your resources with your particular schools, but know that Arasti is out there and can get you fixed in on average 3.2 visits. I want you to consider that. Normally, when I would hurt my back, it would be a 4-week at least rehab process. I would have to lay on the ground for a couple of days, slowly start moving, finally start limping and start hobbling. I went to an Arasti provider. Not only did he get me out of pain quickly, he taught me how to do it and take care of myself at home. That's why I love Arasti so much. I want you to check their website out. It's AIRROSTI.com, Arasti.com. You can schedule your appointment directly from there. In fact, they've got a map on there. You'll see where the closest one is. I'm pretty sure there's a provider less than 10 minutes from where you are right now. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Get yourself back in the game. Go to an Arasti provider today. You'll feel better quickly, and then I'm sure you'll thank me later.
1911 Cigars is the premier cigar lounge in South Texas, providing quality, affordable cigars in a professional, inviting environment with a large covered patio with TVs. A BYOB establishment, 1911 Cigars strives to allow the avid cigar connoisseur a comfortable place to relax, socialize, network, and of course enjoy a great cigar. 1911 Cigars is available for private events and has private cabanas with TVs, fire pits, and heaters. 1911 Cigars at 207 South Main Street in Cibolo. Online at 1911cigars.com.
Staples Connect has everything for back to school at amazing prices. Right now, Crayola 12-count colored pencil bonus packs, 10 plus 2 Crayola marker bonus packs, and Staples pencil boxes are just 97 cents each. Plus, Staples 3-ring binders are only $1.88. With savings like that, your student won't just be ready for school, they'll be totally prepped for the first day. Ready.
It's showtime.
Visit your local Staples or staples.com/back to school today. Ends 9/18. Limit 30, except no limit on binders. Prices may vary online.
There's no place like Panera, where a bite of the toasty, saucy Chipotle chicken avocado melt tastes like, focaccia. A cool and refreshing strawberry poppy seed salad al fresco is so sweet. And a cheesy Chipotle chicken and bacon flatbread pizza in your favorite booth feels just right. So treat yourself, because there's no place like Panera. Order on the app today. Restrictions apply. Visit PaneraBread.com.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio, like where this ad plays. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Yes, radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
When you need an electrician, Hill Electric is available 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. If you're having to rework your office, let Hill Electric design your socially distanced space to ensure each workstation has the proper electrical needs. For over 35 years, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio. There is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074, or go to hill-electric.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fansville, a college football utopia. Fansville, where the lakes are stocked with ice-cold Dr. Pepper, and the autumn winds rustle with the sweet smell of football glory. And Dr. Pepper. It's a land flowing with onion dip, where even the food pyramid is shaped like a hot dog. Where every yard gained is a yard worth celebrating, and every celebration is beyond excessive. With ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Return to glory this season with Fansville by Dr. Pepper. Grab some today.
Progressive's Home and Auto Bundle Extrava-Festa Save-a-thon, the annual year-long event for saving big on home and auto insurance. These savings are available up until and straight through Labor Day, Halloween, Grover Cleveland's birthday, Taco Tuesday, the anniversary of the moon landing, White Chocolate Day. The sale literally never ends. You can come on Jupiter's Ascension, National Pisces Day, but not Leap Day. Just kidding. We're doing Leap Day because every day is perfect for saving money with a Home and Auto Bundle only at Progressive. But for real, we're not doing White Chocolate Day because white chocolate is gross. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Sports breakfast for your ears. Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning on San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
R&R in the morning. It's 8:38 and a blessed AM. It'll be a good weekend. It'll be about 93 today, I heard this morning from our KTSA weathercast. It'll be a little bit of clouds. Good weekend for golf. It'll be a nice weekend to go hit the links. You got some, get out, get your games in early, watch some college football on Saturday, get your game, get a couple of holes in early, noon, get yourself near a radio, listen to the Dallas Cowboys take on the Jacksonville Jaguars in their final preseason game right here on San Antonio Sports Star. But the key thing is get out and hang with your friends and play some golf and get that stroke back in together. But, the key is to have somebody to play with.
Right.
I mean, golf is an individual sport for sure, but it's no fun alone unless you're really good. And I don't know what that's like.
I would never play golf by myself.
I know a lot of people
I'll do
that
the
do.
range, but I'm not going to play 18 by myself.
So you're not the type that looks at your
weird.
watch, it's 4:00 and go get 9 holes in on the way home.
No, those guys are weird.
What's the old saying? If you shoot over 100, you have no business on the course. And if you shoot under 80, you have no business. Is that
something like that?
Too much practice?
I've heard that. Something like that.
When was the last time you played?
Ooh. June.
Wow, it's been a bit.
Sometime in June.
Wow, I feel like I've taken you away from a habit.
Nah, man.
Who do you play with normally? You have a group?
Yeah, I have a group that's out right now.
Right now?
So they can't even hear it. So I'm going to just throw them all the way under the bus.
Let's do this.
So like I told Rob this morning, like we all have a group. I mean, we've all been in a situation where you look up, your buddies are out somewhere and you're like, dude, nobody called me. Like, what the hell? Like, I thought we were crew. So what is this? I don't know. Maybe early this week, we had a big golf group chat. Text comes through. Oh man, this match we got Friday is 4-on-4. It's me, him. We're playing for this, we're playing for that. And I'm reading it and I'm like, wait. I'm like, my name isn't on here. Like, first of all, you put the damn round together in a separate chat. Okay, because I had never heard about it. Right? And then you come bragging about the round in the normal chat. So that right there, I'm hot. I'm like, so y'all done put together a round of golf in a whole different chat, then come brag about it in our normal chat. That's strike one. So I'm like, you know what I mean? I was like that, like I'm already putting it together. That's foul. Strike two. I'm like, yo, what's going on with this round of golf? Like, what the hell? Verbatim. I thought you would have to ask Rob. You just started over there, and I didn't think you could get off. That's strike two. Invite me and let me tell you.
First of all, take my name out your mouth.
Don't
blame me on this.
Yeah, he blamed Rob. I'm like, first of all, you don't even know Rob. Okay, Los, you don't even know Rob. But I'm like, first of all, just like Rob said before the break, even if I don't plan on going, I need my invite. Strike three, you starting while my show is on. Y'all are supposed to be listening and helping these ratings. Okay, so you strike.
Now I'm mad.
Now I'm mad. So I'm like, dog. So like, and I've all, with social media, somebody always ends up posting the event, right? So somebody posts and tags you, and then next thing you know, you got a different group of friends like, damn, no invite. When is it okay to get mad about the no invite?
My question when you said this.
Yes.
Okay. Have you turned them down recently? Have they called you and said, hey, man, let's go? And you said, no, man, I
No, and that's what makes me more mad, Rob, because I put it in the chat like 5 times. Hey, I'm itching to play. Who can play?
And I'm free in the afternoons. And I haven't been free in the afternoons in years, decades.
Crickets. I had one buddy respond, hey, Rudy, playing Saturday or Sunday at this time with a different group of friends. I wasn't able to make those. But there's about 8 of us in the chat. Only one guy responded when I said, hey, man, I'm itching to play. So then next thing you know, a golf game that's been put together in a separate chat gets put into this chat. And they're like, oh, man, it's going to be so much fun. But I don't like the guy that comments on my post, no invite. I don't like that guy.
No.
I don't like that.
I'm not going to play butthurt to you. I'm not going to be like, hey, what about me? But I am, hey, what about me?
When is it okay to say no invite? Have you ever done that?
And like left somebody out intentionally?
No. Have you ever been the no invite guy?
Far worse than that.
Last Friday.
No, I'll tell you a story. You want to get them into butthurt?
Yeah. Yes.
Everybody knows that my brother and I are very close. We did radio together for a long time. He is my best friend. We talk all the time. But, my brother is an attorney and is a very successful attorney. I, on the other hand, am in radio. I'm a successful radio guy, but that doesn't translate to bank accounts and Panamanian money laundering. So there are things that my brother is financially capable of doing that a lot of times I'm not. I understand that. I love what I do, but
Makes
I understand that there are limitations to my chosen field of pay. So this has been probably about 5-6 years ago, and I was back from Orlando, and I was between gigs. I wanted to be a radio guy, and I didn't want to live anywhere else. I'd left to Orlando. I didn't ever want to leave again. So I had to find another job, and I was driving riverboats, being a tour guide down on doing for Rio San Antonio cruises. Great gig, loved it. But there's just not a lot of money coming in when you're asking for tips after a boat ride. So there was a vacation planned with my brother and it was a little weekend getaway with my brother and my sister and, their families. Well, they didn't ask because they knew that I probably didn't have the money to go do what they were doing. And they were right. I would have had to have said no.
Where was this?
I think they were going, I don't remember exactly where they were because I wasn't invited.
But you knew it was expensive.
So, yeah. It turned out to be a very expensive getaway. They didn't want to invite me, didn't want me to feel bad. It was a weekend getaway, and they were both trying to cover it.
Right.
So I'm out at the H-E-B by my house, and I'm pushing the cart down the shop, and I turn, and my brother-in-law is in the H-E-B. My brother-in-law lives in Austin. The H-E-B is close to my house and my brother's house. What the hell are you doing here, Ian? He goes, oh, no, man, wow. You could tell the moment he saw me, it was like,
oh, hell.
Uh-oh.
It wasn't hell.
And the shopping cart was full of like beer and party goods. Like, oh, man, I didn't know y'all were coming into town. And my brother-in-law was like, yeah, we're in town. And he proceeds to tell me the story of what's happening. Oh, man.
You're pissed.
Yeah, well, I was pissed.
Or hurt.
I was more hurt. You're kind of like, oh, really? So what are y'all doing? It's amazing to me that y'all put this together and I didn't have any idea.
Then you get the fake invite, but you should come by.
Come on.
Like, no.
And then you can sleep in our hotel room. We'll put a couple blankets on the floor.
The fake invite after you're busted is worse than the no invite. Just for the record, for the people that get busted, you're faking. Don't even do the fake invite after you're busted. You know what I'm saying? Like after the fake, like you didn't invite me. Like, cause my thing is, if you're planning something that's happening on Saturday, that's this big, and you tell me Thursday, that's a fake invite.
Yes,
that's a fake invite, and that's
running
worse
out of
than
bounds
no
at the
invite.
2-yard line and not scoring the touchdown.
Yes,
go ahead and score the touchdown,
dude.
Man. It's worse running out of the 2.
I cursed in that group chat for a whole day and a half.
Y'all have a good time.
Yeah, y'all have a good time today.
Take some pictures.
Yeah, they're about to play right now. I think they play at 9.
Maybe bring me a T-shirt.
I'm like, dude, y'all are whack for that. Well, not y'all. There's one gentleman that was supposed to put it all together. He was supposed to invite me. It wasn't a y'all thing.
And honestly, they were probably not inviting.
And I wasn't going to go.
You did. Well, that's the other thing.
And see, that's the thing. Why am I mad? And I knew I wasn't going to. I'm not going to take off work 2 months in to go play golf. So he was right to, but. Let me tell you,
right? No. Invite me. I wouldn't have been able to go, and I would have said, "Hey, man, thanks for the invite. I can't go. I don't got the time, and I don't got the money." So and I would have gone on, and you go with God, have a great time, but meet you the hour before you guys are heading out.
Like, that's whack. So yeah, I've been busting his nads all week for it. So I hope they all shoot a 110. I hope they all shoot 110 and have the worst time. And I hope it's unbearably hot and it's just disgustingly golf.
Got to deal with a pig or an alligator running.
But no invite, man. But then also there's times, Rob, where you have 2 sets of friends. Right? We all have different sets of friends, right? And it's just sometimes you want to keep them separate because of different personalities. So then you're out with one group of friends, and then you have 1 or 2 from the other group that's like, dude, why didn't you tell me? It's just like, and you can't tell them like, well,
these guys aren't for you.
Yeah.
Is that like
am I
guys.
Weird for that? Like different sets of friends, it's like different personalities that may not mesh. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I don't have a problem with that, but I do know that you've probably hurt a couple of these guys' feelings in the past. So they didn't feel too bad about
You've been the bad guy before.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't relish it. But I'll tell you this. I used that emotional card. The guilt that my brother and brother-in-law's family, I used it for years. I had a chip in the game now. And every time we're together, like in case, next weekend, if you guys aren't going on vacation together, you're more than welcome to come over to my house. But if you're going on vacation together, you can tell me Friday and back out of what I'm doing. No, I used that for years.
You was upset.
I was a
and you know, it's
dog.
funny how it works out. When like the universe made you see him at HEB.
Yeah. Karma, man.
They were like, what are the chances?
And I was so excited, and I can, as I talk about, I can see the look in his eyes, like, oh no, this is gonna ripple.
The basket is full of party stuff.
This is gonna be talked about for years. This is not gonna go away over the weekend.
The basket being full of party stuff is the best part of the story for me, because you can tell something's going down. That's the funniest part of the story. Oh, that was funny.
Own it, use it as a card in the big game of life.
Invite people. They probably can't go anyway.
Yes.
The universe will take care of you if you just invite people.
Just let them in, and every now and then, if they do come on in, they'll realize they probably should have said no and say no the next time.
Right.
Because they're hanging around a bunch of people that they don't like. Like, these are friends you're not going to like, man.
Yeah.
This is something you're not going to be down with.
Amen.
Hey, we got a lot to get into. Still some golf. Can the Ryder Cup bring together an American team? Can Bryson and Koepka get along? Let's look at the Ryder Cup, one of my favorite sporting events coming up. It's R&R in the morning, and you're on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Bet you can tell me when the last Spurs championship was. But can you name your congressman? Sports or politics? The answer is obvious. This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Prescription products require an online consultation. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
Think you might have ED? Not sure? Well, we'd like to let you in on a little secret. ED is common. About 40% of men experience ED by age 40, but the solution is simple. Find it at 4hims.com.
I didn't have to talk to a doctor in person. There was no copay, and the medication was shipped right to my door in discreet packaging.
Hims took care of it, fast and easy. Now our love life is better than ever.
Get access to doctors online who can prescribe you FDA-approved ED medication if appropriate. The same active ingredient as name brands, but 90% cheaper. Skip the waiting rooms and pharmacy lines. Get a free medical consultation and rise to the occasion or your money back. Go to 4hims.com/radio to get your first visit free. No copay required. The only way to get this special offer is to go to 4hims.com/radio. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Taco Bell presents a get out of bedtime story. It's time to wake up from this amazing dream, even though you're jet skiing on lemonade. How extreme! And oh, look at that, you just won the lottery. Is that a castle? Take the keys. It's your property. What's better than swimming in space? Just wait for the big reveal. It's Taco Bell breakfast, and it's actually real. So it's time to wake up and bid your dreams farewell, because toasted breakfast burritos are waiting for you, only at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell locations near you during breakfast hours only.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think of calling for a ride, but nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over. Your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone. The results of driving drunk are tragic. That's why law enforcement is out there looking for impaired drivers to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. At CDW, we get your employees need their data to go where they go.
That's why we started tattooing company data right on them. Ow! Now they have permanent access.
Ouch. Well, at CDW, we can transform your data center painlessly, on-prem and in the cloud, with a Dell technology solution so your data isn't just available, it's powerful.
Whew. I was about to get these Q4 financials tattooed on my neck.
Close call. For technology that moves you forward, trust Dell Technologies and IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Learn more at cdw.com/DellTech.
You hear that? It's not just another sound effect. It's the sound of your life changing. Say goodbye to mediocrity and every normal phone you've had before. Unfold a whole new world with Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 3 5G and Z Fold 3 5G. Get more screens, more style, more attention. Take a break from toggling between select apps and take hands-free selfies. Take notice of everyone noticing you and show them how to live this life. Buy your Galaxy Z Flip 3 5G or Z Fold 3 5G at Samsung.com. 5G connection and availability may vary. Check with carrier.
Here's pitch. Double your power. Double your fun. Double your Rangers pleasure. The exclusive action happens here on the official home plate of the Texas Rangers. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Max Kellerman on San Antonio's Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
R&R in the morning on a Friday morning at that.
Thank you, Jace.
Resting and recreating all weekend long. He's Rudy. He's recreating. I'm Rob.
Sir.
I'll be resting. And Karl Schoenig, well, he'll be calling some sort of collegiate event, I'm sure, over the weekend. Got high school football tonight. Johnson, Wagner, be here, 6:30 pregame. We'll hear from the coaches. Karl, get on the call a little bit after 7 o'clock with Kevin Brock doing the color.
Who do y'all have doing the pre? Who does the 6?
Well, the breakdown basically is at 6:30, Karl will come in with the show, and then we'll hear from the coaches.
Oh, okay.
A little bit of pregame.
Hopefully. They've been ignoring me all week.
Yeah.
High school football coaches are not fans of media.
No, they're not. And
I would think they would be.
You know, let's real quickly. So this is what happens when the NFL coaches act like that. High school coaches think I can do the same thing. You hear Shanahan going, "Why would I tell you who I'm starting at quarterback?
Right.
You'll start scheming against me." Dude, we know your scheme.
Yeah.
We know you're Kyle Shanahan, right? You're the guy I saw last year and the year before. There might be a rollout one place here where there wouldn't have been when Garoppolo's in, but high school coaches, we're not the enemy.
It's the opposite. It worked its way up because I've been doing this for over a decade now. And
you think it starts at high school up and it as they progress, they take that I hate the media to college?
The pros and college teams have stolen it from the high school teams because obviously pro and college gets all the media that they want. High school would prefer we're not even there, and they don't even like the live stream. We have to actually get approved by the teams to video stream the games these days.
And you know what's crazy?
Scout them?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
But at the same time, dude, I bet the parents don't agree with that.
No.
Because see, the parents are calling Rob and I, tweeting us like, "Why aren't y'all talking about them? They're 8-0." Well, your coach hates us. Number one, you know what I mean? Like, I would think these high school kids want as much exposure for themselves and for the kids as possible.
The kids love it, but again, the coaches, they don't want to give a single edge. In fact, last year, I was lucky that they gave us 24 hours, but I did Georgetown, and they wanted it down the next day. They said no videos after 24 hours. Kids get to watch it on Saturday morning and then take it off.
They all have 6 plays. They'll be okay.
No, you'd be surprised.
Okay, exactly. Okay, so like, let's say Larry Hill out at Smithson Valley.
Okay.
He's been running that same playbook for 15 years. He's doing it works. We know what Larry Hill's offense looks like.
It's about execution, not about what you know.
He might change it because he's got a stud that can do something different. You know, he might have a D1 type that's suddenly a wide receiver, so we're going to throw to him a little bit more than we did last year. But we know what these guys are going to do. And so if you think you're not letting us get a little pregame update from you.
So you haven't got a call back? You have got no interviews in the can car?
Thankfully Minix did a good bit of legwork for me, but anytime I approach the coaches, I say, hey, this is for broadcast purposes only. It's confidential. You know, I ask for stats and they're like, we're not giving you stats. Those are the things that other teams can use. It's like, oh, that's their main running back. So when he's in the game, he's not in there for pass protection.
And I guess this is not a whole lot of a profit motive.
No,
you know,
that too.
Good point. They're not in it to fill the stands with an exciting game. They're in it to just go win football and rather not have them be scouted. But I'm always kind of amazed at the secrecy behind a 3A school. Like, you're from Poth, man, and no one's really following. And no degrading Poth or anybody else.
No, I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean? This isn't big time stuff. Come on and talk about your guys.
I didn't know that they were hard to get a hold of. I'm learning a lot on today's show. But regardless, we all love Friday Night Lights. Regardless how whatever happens with the coaches.
We are here. There's Frito pie in the wind.
I'm a Frito pie guy.
Frito pie in the wind.
And high school nachos are better than nachos anywhere. Whether it be movies, the park, high school football game nachos hit different.
You know, one of the things we do as we're closing out this segment off the rails is Jason and I barbecue. We grill.
Every Sunday.
Do you have a traditional football meal? Like when football season hits and we got our first crispy, cool day, is there something you look forward to other than the games? Do you cook something special?
No.
See, I'm a chili guy. The first
really? I don't have. Maybe I need to get a traditional meal.
Football day. The first day that you wake up and it's 50 degrees and it just feels like it's fall. Normally around San Antonio happens the day after Christmas, but it does eventually occur. But when that first day arrives, I got to have a big old pot of chili.
Please tell me you're no beans chili.
No, I put beans in.
No.
I put beans in there. I'm not ashamed of saying that. No, I like the beans. I like non-bean chili, but
yeah, I feel you.
Do you use chili meat or do you use just hamburger meat or do you use like a cut of meat cut up?
Hamburger meat, onions,
See,
cheese.
I make my own version of Frito pie. That when I make chili, it's over Fritos with cheese and all that, like it was in the bag. But man,
get that tummy nice and warm.
I'm talking about it right now, and I'm getting hungry.
It's too hot right now.
Yeah,
right?
no chili you cannot eat.
Do chili
it has to. The high temperature of that day cannot get above 72.
I want a fan favorite pulled pork chili contest. I won a fan favorite chili contest, but we used pulled pork.
Respect.
My brother-in-law and I out at the food truck park when we had one. That was cool. It was pulled pork. It was pretty good. Really good, actually. It was fan favorite, not judge favorite.
I know I'm counter to the chili world, but I think beans adds to the flavor and a little bit of health.
No, most people do. I'm a weirdo.
And well, no, you're not. I'm always consistently called out, but man, chili sounds out. And chili is one of those few items that is always better at home and never at a restaurant.
Never at a restaurant.
Don't trust chili at a restaurant.
Never.
Although I've heard that some of them good. Hey, we got a lot to talk about in the 9 o'clock hour. It's San Antonio's Sports Star. You're on R&R in the morning. We'll be right back with lots of fun and hijinks. See you in a bit. But before we go, I want to tell you about Twin Peaks. It's Friday. Bourbon and Brews going on right now. The party that we all look forward to all week long. We get going this afternoon for happy hour at Twin Peaks. Man, the weekend at Twin Peaks. One of the great things about those 3 great locations around San Antonio is when you walk in, everywhere you turn is big TV. Every place you sit is a man cave. And this weekend, those TVs are going to be full with all the things you want. We got football in a variety of ways. It's week 0 in college. Those games count. On Sunday, we're finishing out the preseason. You can catch them Dallas Cowboys and all your favorite teams right there at Twin Peaks. But Sunday night, the fight is on. You're looking for some fun. You want to see Jake Paul get his ass beat? Well, go to Twin Peaks. No cover. Sit down and watch your UFC. When you head over to Twin Peaks, you know everything that you want to watch is going to be on the TVs. You know, when you walk up to the bar, you're looking for a special bourbon. You're looking for some Pappies? Yeah, they'll pour you some. You're looking for a local brew, something cold and delicious. Maybe you haven't had a Yingling yet. 29 degrees cold coming off that Twin Peaks bar. But why do you go? I'll tell you why. It's those scenic views.
The main event. Halftime on San Antonio Sports Star.
It's a risky proposition to get your starters on kickoff, but the great coaches seem to be more preferential toward that than backups.
All I know is if I'm an opposing player and I see Van Der Esch out there might be a blindside block.
That's the most Philadelphia Eagle thing you've ever said.
Rob Thompson, Karl Schoening. Weekdays noon to 2 on San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM. From the Mother's Window Tent Studios, KZDC, we are San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Welcome to Texas, where your backside will sizzle like bacon when you get in your car, unless you go to Mother's Window Tent, home of the Tent and Alarm Special, where you can also buy a new car stereo. Since 1984, Mother's Window Tent has tinted cars and trucks to keep them cooler and stop the sun from damaging their interiors. Texans like dark, privacy window tint. Come to Mother's and get some. Legal and guaranteed lifetime. Remember to protect yourself and your family. Buy an auto alarm today from Mother's. Starter kill, remote start, GPS locator, 24-hour live monitoring. Save $100 on the tint and alarm package of your choice. Austin and San Antonio stores, motherswindowtint.com. Remember, do it at Mothers and save.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. So 82% of you listening will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. 82% of you will note that if you're hiring, ZipRecruiter finds qualified people for your job. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And 82% of you will remember that you can try ZipRecruiter for free, but you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
Central Builders Incorporated is a family-owned, award-winning general contractor headquartered in San Antonio. Since 1989, CBI has completed over $1 billion in construction projects, including large-scale remodeling, expansions, and ground-up construction. The award-winning CBI has also been recognized by the San Antonio Business Journal as one of the best places to work for the past 4 years, and Central Builders is hiring. Learn more at centralbuilders.net. That's centralbuilders.net.
Football is almost here. Get in on the action with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. To bring you even closer to the action, DraftKings is giving all new players a free shot at $1 million during Week 1. If you haven't tried DraftKings yet, preseason is the perfect time to test your strategy. It's simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition. Nothing adds to the excitement of watching a game quite like having a free shot at huge cash prizes. And don't forget to check out DraftKings free-to-play pools, where there's even more cash up for grabs. Download the DraftKings app and use code KJZ. For a limited time, new players can get a free shot at $1 million during Week 1. That's code KJZ to get a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes with your first deposit. Only at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up? We can help you get started. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Castrol GTX and an STP oil filter, plus an STP air filter or cabin air filter for just $34.99. And you can get it all fast, your way. Just order online with our free same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Start your job today at AutoZone.com. Restrictions apply.
Gonna miss you around here, Iris.
Olivia's best optometry technician is going back to school.
Did we get that new frame?
Her eye is already twitching about finding a replacement.
Ugh, this can't keep happening. We're gonna have to cancel appointments.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Screen for quality candidates with the skills your role needs with Indeed assessments. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Rob Thompson, Rudy J, R&R in the morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. You made it. It's Friday. It is downhill from there. That roller coaster reached the top, and now the wind blowing through your hair. You just got to make it to the bottom, and the weekend is here. Rudy J is here. He's not playing golf.
Yeah, they left me out. It's all good.
I'm Rob Thompson. Neither am I. Karl Schoenig, he's in the dark. I can't tell what he's doing back on the other side of the double.
I thought by now he normally has the light on.
Yeah, it normally comes on as the sun rises. Got a good hour to talk about football this week. And the Buffalo Bills and the Tennessee Titans are mired in the COVID crisis. Fines have been dealt.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to see the other side of the league. We're going to hear from a former NFL player current ESPN Talk radio host, Bart Scott. His thoughts from what he believes and what he would do if he was still in the league. And there were some COVID issues on his team. You don't want Bart Scott mad at you, I can tell you that.
I don't want no smoke with Bart Scott.
Let's congratulate Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is now 1-0.
Oh, no.
We would like to congratulate him on baby number 17. His wife's still mad at him. No.
What, he's 1-0? What is he doing?
He won, he's high school football coach there in Alabama.
Oh.
Won his first game last night as he takes on his second career and eagerly awaits a call from the NFL when one of the starting quarterbacks goes down. They will.
Good for Phillip.
And he's got a 1-0 record. Maybe he'll end up with the Dallas Cowboys as the Cowboys got the Jacksonville Jaguars this weekend. Cut down day is imminent, and I don't see a backup quarterback on their roster.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think that because that's one thing I asked sitting in for Jason yesterday, and we had Mickey Spagnola, DallasCowboys.com. I told Mickey, Mickey, to me, there's about 25 teams that don't have a backup. So Dallas, they fit right in.
It's true.
There's majority teams don't have a legit backup.
Do you believe there are two schools of thought? One school is you need to have a valued backup because, as Karl loves saying, he's right. This is a 100% injury league. You're going to get hurt. Your quarterback's going to be dinged up, and it's rare to have a guy that plays every snap of every game of all season, especially at 17 games. Is it worth the investment knowing that no matter what you do, you're going to be playing uphill because it's not your quarterback, but it might have a placeholder. So maybe it's worth a little bit of money. Or do you look at it like, you know what? My quarterback goes down. I don't care who steps in. Season's done. Why waste money and try to prolong the inevitable of losses and no playoffs if I lose my quarterback?
That's where I am. Unless you, like I say, your unique situation, like a Chicago, like a San Francisco, New Orleans. Like if they just so happens that way and it's not costing me too much money, then I'm good. But if in most cases, like say 25 teams, your QB goes down, it's pretty much a wrap.
Then there is the Philadelphia syndrome. I mean, you do have the Nick Foles coming out of nowhere, stepping in for an MVP and getting a Super Bowl.
Lightning in a bottle. I wouldn't rely on it, but you want a guy like that.
Yeah. I mean, so there is
Tom Brady.
That mix. So the Cowboys last year invested. They went and got Andy Dalton, paid him $10 million or $8 million.
Whatever it was.
Just to prep, be ready. And did absolutely no good.
Exactly. And he's supposed to be serviceable.
Yes, he was a legitimate, we were told, we'd seen him in Cincinnati, a guy that would be capable if your one went down, that he could take you through Nick Foles' style, carry you through.
Buffalo has a legit backup. Mitch Trubisky's been in the playoffs twice.
Yes, he has. And he just
as much as we made fun of him, he went to the playoffs twice.
He just
has been in the playoffs as many times as Dak Prescott.
Wow.
Take that for data.
No kidding, man. The punchline that he has become is actually not true at all. So we did hear earlier today, I believe this was it Tom Pelissero that told us, but we did hear that Zeke Elliott has restructured his contract to free up roughly $8 million. He's going to just take what was backloaded has now become part of his signing bonus. Right. So the Cowboys have a little bit of money. Now, the thought process is by most that are really close with the Cowboys that they're going to try to carry that money over the next year.
Right.
But if we see on Sunday another performance that Garrett Gilbert offered us last week, I know Cooper Rush was viewed as, that was serviceable, but come on. I mean, when compared to the Nooch and Gilbert, Rush looked better, and he does know the system. I just don't feel like their backup quarterback to this minute is on the roster, but they are running out of time, and you wonder what quarterback would be available. That's why that Phillip Rivers sighting I thought was very interesting.
Yeah. Surprised no one's tried to bring Andrew Luck out of retirement.
Oh,
we got an offensive line, man. Come play with them. Or would the Colts still have his rights?
They'd have his rights.
Oh, okay.
But that doesn't mean people haven't called.
I always thought when he went down, I was like, he just needs a year or two off. But Andrew seems like a guy that has other interests, took care of the little bit of money that he made, and he's not coming back. But when he first quit, I was like, he'll be back.
Oh, everybody thought that.
I was like, he'll be back. He's just frustrated with this organization.
He retired, and very quickly after that, his father, Oliver Luck, former Houston Oiler.
He was like the head of CFP.
He ran the Alliance. He was the commissioner of the Alliance Football League, and we had the commander, so we had an opportunity to speak with Luck more than once. And we talked to him about his son, and way back when, I think the first time we spoke with him as that year progressed, as the alliance was growing into itself and then, flaming and like the Hindenburg and going down. His initial opinion, you could tell that he wasn't sure if his son was truly done.
Right.
That when we spoke to him, his son was battered and bruised. His son was thinking about
shoulders, spleen,
as
back.
bad. Yeah, as bad as I feel today. I look at former NFL players, and if I feel this bad now, I don't want to look like those guys in 15 years. And you're right. He's a Stanford-educated, highly intelligent, wealthy.
Made a lot of money.
Wealthy 25-year-old with kids that he wanted to play with. It made perfect sense. And I think that his dad felt like, I'm not going to say he's done because he's got to get wealthy. He got to get well. He just doesn't feel right. Well, as the year went on and we did start seeing Luck go out and about doing his things, we talked to his dad again. And by that point, he was pretty sure that he was done, that Andrew had found life outside of football, didn't miss it at all. It's been what now, 3 years?
Yeah, 3-4 years now at least.
That's
pretty much a wrap.
I think it's a wrap. And what could have been for sure. But I think if older Karl from the Texans could do it over, he might have left a couple years earlier too, instead of suffering the 100 sacks that he dealt with.
And that's what Jacksonville's up against with Trevor Lawrence. The right thing to do, but is it the right thing to do? You could easily have another Andrew Luck situation on your hands with Jacksonville with the way that offensive line looks.
But you got to play him.
You got to play him. That's what I'm saying. It's the right thing to do to play him.
But if he does spend more than half the game looking up at the lights, trying to get the grass out of his face mask, you might want to head back to the mustache. Yeah. It is a Friday afternoon or Friday morning. You only got a couple hours and your weekend will begin. So why don't fill it with fantastic sports headlines that you can delight and entertain your coworkers with? That's what Karl does with us. Let's get it. It's the 411 and the 210.
Here's the 411 in the 210.
So I have to backtrack on a headline from yesterday with headline 2 today. Ronaldo's not going to Man City. What? But apparently Manchester United is trying to get in on the sweepstakes, and that is where Ronaldo started his career in the first division of soccer world. So maybe there's a rekindling of a flame there.
See, this is what's weird about the whole situation. Like in basketball, you'll never see Anthony Davis and the Lakers have agreed on a deal, but now the Lakers and the Pelicans have to figure it out.
Right.
It's so weird with soccer. Hey, I'll agree to come to you. Transfers, it's weird how it all works. But yeah, so according to some reports, now he's not going to Man City, and Manchester United wants to bring him back. I don't know what the heck's going on. I don't understand soccer transfers.
So he wanted to go to Man City. Man City wanted him.
Yesterday's reports were that they agreed to a deal.
So those two,
and then Juventus and Man City must have had some kind of hold up in their transfer fee. And who knows, maybe the transfer fee was so much that's like, hey, Ronaldo, we're going to need you to take a little less money so we can actually negotiate with you. And then everything must have broken down.
That's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of moving pieces. That's a lot of moving parts that aren't, the hands aren't washing each other. If you're trying to get a deal done and you don't even know if your team's going to let you be free to get that deal done.
You can seek a trade, but we still got to agree to it, right?
It's amazing anything gets done, especially talking about that.
The numbers.
The dollars, yeah.
Mbappe 212 just to get him, and then I guess you still have to pay him his contract, right? Because that's just to buy you away from him. And then I still have to figure out what I'm going to pay you per year. Because the 212, like in the Mbappe deal, that's not his money.
That's to buy the rights.
That's just to buy the rights.
Negotiate with him.
That doesn't seem American. That does not.
It's not American.
It's not American at all. That's why. Well, I don't know. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
Moving on.
Headline 1.
What's up?
Stephen A. Smith wants to live in L.A. That's what I'm getting out of this. He also wants to reportedly have a dream team on First Take with Magic Johnson and Michael Wilbon joining him.
Look, if he does that, then it's the show takes on a whole new facelift. I guess it's like a facelift then, or it's changed because his whole thing has been yell, scream, debate with someone. It was like that with Skip. It was like that with Max. Magic Johnson's almost a billionaire. If you think he's going to sit there and scream and yell with you, you're crazy.
Or take it from you.
Yeah, or take it from you. Wilbon already has PTI where they kind of debate. I mean, change is good. I'm in a whole different situation.
What do you think of Magic?
Maybe he wants to grow. Maybe it's a growth thing for Stephen A. What do I think of Magic? I love him to death. I'm not crazy about him on television.
No. Are you old enough to remember his talk show?
Yes.
What did it last? Like 2 weeks?
It was
or whatever?
bad. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy about Magic on television. I respect his business acumen and all of that. Can't say, but I'm not crazy about him entertaining me in the morning from 11 to 1.
And Stephen
or
A.
9 to 11, whatever it is.
And Stephen A. respects him enough that he lets Magic get his points across and very rarely disputes him. That the embrace debate era might be over for
That's what I'm
first
saying.
take.
He's looking for change. He's looking for change and looking to grow. Clearly. That's if that's who he's going after. And then I was reading in the Post and I asked Rob if he thought it was true. New York Post says he pretty much got Max canned, kicked off. And I didn't know whether to believe it or not. And Rob's like, hell yeah, it's probably true.
I have no doubt about that.
I wouldn't be surprised if a big part of this, like I said at the beginning, is that Stephen A. wants to go out to L.A. and be Hollywood, and they just spent all that money to be out in New York City, ESPN, where they're broadcasting from right now. So
when you're the guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When you're the guy and you're worth it, trust me, they ain't paying him $12 million for nothing. If that's what he wants to do, they do it. Because I can't see Magic working from New York.
Kellerman's a New York guy, though.
Yeah, Kellerman loves New York. I see that, but I don't see Magic moving to New York.
No, it would be an L.A. show.
They have L.A. studios already.
Wilbon would be down.
I think that Stephen A. and Magic would not be compelling to me.
You don't think?
I don't think
you
so.
have to give it a shot. I don't think so
but
either.
I will tell you, the addition of Wilbon would help.
I like Wilbon. I love Wilbon. I love Kornheiser too, but I love Wilbon.
No, don't get rid of PTI. That's still got to happen. But if Wilbon will do that, he's already done a lot of NBA stuff. I think he would be the level head there that would kind of mediate a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I get the feeling what would happen. You know what Stephen A. is like. He's bombastic. He just, he's not a hot take artist like Skip Bayless, but he's bombastic. He goes after stuff, and Magic is not.
But he's not going to do that to Magic or Wilbon.
So why?
I think Wilbon's like one of his mentors. So that's what I'm saying. I think he's taking the show in a different direction.
But he's taking his perception in a different direction. Stephen A. is bombast. He is loud. He is.
Right.
Wilbon is not.
No, not
Magic is not.
Right.
So maybe you're right.
A whole different show trying to grow.
Bring it back and be more of a civil kind of show, maybe.
More like Get Up.
Well, I know that I appreciate Stephen A. on TV.
Yes.
I don't appreciate him on radio.
He's definitely a TV guy.
Because it just comes across as a bunch of screaming something.
Yeah, I like him on television.
And I don't think that's going to happen. If I'm Magic, what do I have to gain from this? What positive would I get from
Magic's bored?
That that might be enough.
Money I can make. My money makes money while I sleep.
Because he's not doing anything with the Dodgers, right? He just owns.
Yeah, and Cookie just show up to the games during the playoffs.
The Lakers, well, he exited that quickly. So maybe you're right. Maybe it is bored, and he might bring a few eyes.
Yeah.
How big of a fan are you of Magic? Do you? I mean, what's your? I'm talking to Karl, by the way, for those who are not, but you should be watching it SA Sports Star because you're of that next generation. You're an old soul and obviously a basketball fanatic.
An old soul.
But when you think of Magic Johnson, what do you think of?
Oh, you still think of one of the best point guards of all time, probably the best point guard of all time.
But that's because you were told that, not because you
saw it. I watched a lot of highlights of him.
Yeah. But you're an above average basketball IQ guy for
you know what I mean? My
30,
generation sees Magic as a legendary player in the 80s. Everybody knew about Magic and Larry, and he is a media icon in his own sense. So if he were to get a full-time show, especially in Los Angeles, that would get all the ratings.
That's all I need to hear.
And they put so much money in LA at ESPN. In fact, SportsCenter at night is basically Los Angeles-centric.
Yeah, we when we're in LA and we broadcast from the studios right there.
That's right. LA Live.
Yeah, they've really got a nice place there. And if Karl, you're telling me that generation, the 30-year-olds know who Magic is and respect what he has to say, go get it done. Because I was afraid they were going to leave a younger generation out because I appreciate what say Bill Russell has to say, but
I don't know if I want him entertained.
Yeah, I don't need to see him.
We love Emmitt Smith. Didn't like him on TV.
Right. I mean, I know what you have to say, but I think your perspective is lost on me.
And I grew up with Stephen A. Smith, and he's 53 years old. I think he's gotten quieter, a little calmer. I don't think he wants to be that loud, angry person that he was.
We all change.
I agree. Maybe this will be that next step for him. Moving on.
Speaking about loud and angry, tempers fly at Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley news conference after a heated exchange with Woodley's mom. After the media conference in Cleveland previewing Sunday's bout between the YouTuber and former UFC champion, somebody with Paul started jawing at Woodley's mom and sister. Things quickly escalated in the crowd at the Hilton Hotel ballroom they were in, and Woodley and his family were then removed from the room after shoving ensued. There were no injuries. And, quote, one thing that Woodley said was, one thing that I do not do is disrespect. And when disrespect comes to my mother, this whole issue, F this money, blank this bag, blank this pay-per-view, blank this fight. When it comes to that, it will not be tolerated. This is not an antic, Woodley said. This is disrespect. That's an outlier. He could have took my hat. He could have took my blank sunglasses, made a joke. He could have even shoved me. He would have gotten slapped, but still, he crossed the line. And finally, I think your dream of a Paul brother being knocked out, Rob, is going to happen.
And cut. Staged.
Yes.
Staged.
I feel that way.
Let me tell you why. If you really feel like a dude is especially not even Paul, one of his cronies.
I ain't waiting.
Is disrespecting for your
mom. I ain't
mom.
waiting till tomorrow.
He was held back way too easy.
Yeah.
It was and I'm here for it. I'm all for it. Just entertain me. I don't care if it's staged. I want to see the fight.
It's pay-per-view, so maybe they get a couple more pay-per-views out of this.
Go to Twin Peaks.
Depends on where you are.
No cover. They got a seat waiting on you. Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks. So it was staged, but I liked it. Because if just somebody was really arguing with your mom, some flunky in Jake Paul's crew, they would have squashed that
right then.
There wouldn't have been no like, hey man, go get him. Like he was way too calm for his mom to be in an argument. It was entertaining, but it was staged.
You talking about my mom at a UFC weigh-in? I'm going Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Let's trash the place, man.
We blowing like he said, I'll make this room shake. The room, if your mom is really being attacked verbally by something, you're gonna make the room shake. You're not gonna stand there. He was like point to a security guard. Go stop that, man. Go stop that.
It made headlines. We are talking about it.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here.
This is also a day that we've talked 20 minutes of soccer. There's not a whole lot going on in the world.
Yeah.
It's a well-scheduled event.
I'm here for it.
Somebody kick Jake Paul's ass. That's all I care about. Just somebody kick his ass.
I didn't realize how big Jake was.
Yeah,
that's a big dude.
Respect where it's offered, you know.
Right.
This is a circus. This is wrestling.
Yeah.
This is wrestling. Just accept it for what it is, and enjoy the spectacle. But maybe we're all wrong. Maybe we're selling the Paul brothers short, and there actually is some skill behind their YouTube-ness.
Woodley can't lose this fight. He's got even though he's not the guy he used to be in the UFC world, UFC reputation's on the line. He cannot lose this fight to Jake Paul. He can't.
I hope it happens. It won't. There won't be a beat down. There won't be a knockout. It'll be 4 rounds of, a couple guys pulling on each other and end up a draw or something like that. And we'll just move on and get into football. Thank God we have football, because maybe Jake Paul and the fake fighting will go away. Had a lot to talk about coming back. Bart Scott would punch Cole Beasley in the face.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
If what has happened during the regular season and caused players to miss games on Bart Scott's team. We're going to hear from Bart and look at what's going on at Buffalo and Tennessee. It's not pretty, and it might be spreading around the league. COVID is third wave is back. We'll see if the NFL gets going. We'll talk about it next. Hang around with us. You're on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Our week started on Monday morning. We were sitting out at the beautiful locale of Service First AC and Plumbing. Had a chance to sit down, meet the owner, hang out with all the folks, and it just reinforced what I already knew. These have always been my guys in the air conditioning business. They've always been in my phone. 210 No Sweat. Put that in your phone. 210 No Sweat, and you'll know once it's in your phone that you're prepared. Because it's not a matter of if, but when your air conditioning is going to break. It's been a relatively easy summer. It hasn't had those 25, 30 days of consecutive 100 degrees, but as we learned, it's not always the heat. It's the humidity that can ruin your air conditioner quicker than anything, and that has not been in short supply. So be prepared. Plan your work and work your plan. Know that there's going to be problems and prepare for that imminent happening. That's why you put the number in your phone. And when you dial Service First AC and Plumbing, this is what I can assure you will happen. They're going to arrive promptly. They specialize in emergency. They are manning their phones and available to you 24/7, 365. You need them, they're on their way. And when they come, they'll be there fast. You can rely on them taking care of the problem. They'll be proactive. And I want to speak to that for a second. It's been a little bit over a month ago. I had to call out their plumbing service. Their master plumber, Angel, showed up, got to work on the 1/4 inch of water that was in my kitchen, fixed it fast, and then said, man, I'm looking at this. I can fix this, but if I don't fix this, I'm going to be back out here in 2 weeks. You want me to go ahead and do it? Of course. That's the proactivity that I want. The price was right, but the effort was best. They got it taken care of fast. They're my guys in the business. You need to have them as yours. 210 No Sweat. Put it in your phone. Dial it. There's great specials going on. You need to make sure they're keeping the upkeep, making sure your air conditioner stays working and your heater is ready when it gets cold. 210 No Sweat in your phone. You will rest easy and know you got a guy in the business. Service First AC and Plumbing. I trust them. You should too. Put 210 No Sweat in your phone. Thank me later.
Sports Center is brought to you by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Available at H-E-B.
The Texas Rangers ended their 6-game road trip last night in a 10-6 defeat coming at the hands of the Cleveland Indians. Jordan Lyles got the start for Texas, but only pitched 3 2/3 innings, allowing 9 hits and 8 runs. Cleveland scored 4 runs in both the first and the fourth innings to put the game out of reach from the Rangers. Texas will return to the friendly confines of Globe Life Park Friday night to host the AL West leading Astros. The Rangers are currently shorthanded with 4 players on the COVID injury list that includes starting pitchers Mike Folinovich and Drew Anderson. And the San Antonio Missions fell last night to the Midland Rockhounds 3-2. They continue their series against Midland tonight with a Fernando Tatis Jr. Flying Chocolates jersey giveaway night. Those are your baseball headlines. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Karl Sonnen.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio, like where this ad plays. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Yes, radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Ad paid for by CompleteCar.com. This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to the COVID crisis, we are announcing a low-cost extended service plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay nothing for auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay nothing for auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-549-1985 now. Drivers who are covered by this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair bill again. This auto coverage is at an all-time low, much lower than what dealerships are charging. Additionally, drivers who activate this auto coverage today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and free rental car at no additional cost. Call for your free quick quote today. 800-549-1985. 800-549-1985. What do you have to lose? Again, 800-549-1985.
You and your phone have been through a lot this past year. It's been your lifeline to the world. And now some big wireless company is telling you got to buy a new phone from them and sign their contract? They don't control you. With TracFone Wireless, you can keep the phone, number, and network you already have. Already got a 5G phone? Keep that too, because TracFone runs on America's best networks now with 5G nationwide. Plus, we've got unlimited talk and text smartphone plans starting at just $20. TracFone Wireless. Now you're in control. 5G nationwide access requires a 5G capable device. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
It's like breakfast tacos with the hot stuff. Rob Thompson, Rudy J, R&R in the morning on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
R&R in the morning. Is this the Friends? Are you playing the Friends?
I don't know.
I was 182.
Oh, okay.
Same thing.
Welcome on the show. He's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson.
Peace.
It's a Friday morning and stagger around our halls. That's Sean Rima.
Hey.
He's actually at work. He's working. He's
on
still
it.
staggering around the halls. It is a football Friday, Sean. And while, there are so many more important events going on in the world right now.
Yeah, that's why I didn't come by yesterday. The Afghanistan story, the attacks were just breaking.
Lots of stuff happening. So you need to take a little deep breath as we head into the weekend.
Yeah,
what
you
does
need a break.
Sean
You need a
Rima
break.
do on a crisp fall morning that we won't have for a while? But I'm considering fall tomorrow as we have football. What's the weekend look like in Sean Rima's life?
I watch my old Western shows on MeTV.
Do you really watch?
I sit on my butt and watch The Rifleman, Bonanza.
Do you have the Grit Network too? Do you have that one?
No.
You need to have.
I used to watch Westerns with my grandfather, so it's cool.
I love those old Westerns. They're really great shows. The Rifleman's one of my favorite, though, because could you imagine your old man, you're living with your old man and he greases at least one guy every week?
That's Chuck Connors, right?
Chuck Connors.
Yeah.
My dad kills somebody once a week,
That's pretty tight.
Well, you had to,
reminds me of my grandfather. I'm down with Westerns.
They're great.
But they don't feel the same without him, but they were good.
Right.
When was the last great Western made? Was it 3:10 to Yuma?
That wasn't bad. I'm still a huge Unforgiven fan.
Oh,
that's my favorite. Yeah.
Clint Eastwood. Dying ain't much of a living, boy.
In fact, I'm gonna go watch it right now.
We absolutely should. You said we were talking in the break as we were in the hall. You were born up on the Eastern Shore. You're a Maryland type.
Yeah.
Orioles fan?
Yes.
Brutal.
Sorry about that.
I know.
Sorry, man.
When I was a kid. And then I got to run. I was an Orioles fan. I love the Denver Rockies when I was in Colorado, and now I love our guys, the Rangers and the Astros.
Well, at least you got the Astros to root for. The Rangers are in the same boat as the Orioles. The Orioles. The good news for the Baltimore, they'd lost 19 consecutive games, the longest losing streak since 2016, but they won over the weekend. They took down Shohei Ohtani, so you can feel good about yourself.
I gotta run.
Sean Rima got to get back to work.
See you next week, buddy.
Staggering by. By the way, make sure you go over and check him out. He's on with Trey Ware every morning. They get you caught up with all the news. And starting next week, a little after 10 o'clock, say about 10:30, Rudy J be sitting in there with Sean Rima. And I cannot wait to see this relationship blossom.
We're going to see.
Rima's an interesting cat.
I like Sean, though.
I've
gotten to know him.
He's a radio lifer.
Yeah.
The guy has bounced from, in the radio business from market to market to market, more audience, more pay, and then made it here to San Antonio. And he is a wild man. And if you don't know who Sean Rima is, go look him up on Facebook. He's the only guy over on KTSA, and we all know where they stand politically and what they do, that has black fingernail polish. And walking around with
tatted hands
and a Virgin Guadalupe hat.
Right.
That's not common.
And chanclas. Don't forget the chanclas.
Sean Rima. Let's talk some football.
What would Bart Scott say to Sean Rima?
Bart Scott and Sean Rima would get along spectacularly.
They kind of have the same kind of vibe. They cut from the same cloth. Tell you how it is, and this is what it is. And that's how I feel about it. Take it or leave it.
Mm-hmm. One's a little bit more athletic.
Little bit.
One's a little bit taller, a little bit bigger. Probably could run a 40 a bit quicker. As we
can't wait.
Cole Beasley has been on the forefront of personal responsibility versus enforced mandatory measures. He has been anti-vax and has been vocal about it, and has not only been vocal about the anti-vaxxing, but been vocal about the NFL forcing them to do into protocols that he doesn't feel are appropriate.
Right.
And he's not alone in his beliefs, but we do know what the NFL not only believes, but is enforcing. Cole Beasley has now been contact traced and been fined $14,000 for not wearing his mask in an appropriate way. Another bill has been fined for not wearing his mask in the appropriate way. And now we're getting into the season. Last year, everybody had to do the same thing. There was no vaccine.
Right.
Everybody protocoled. There were built-in safety measures. They rescheduled games. They let things – it was a new world. But this year, NFL said these are things that we know are going to happen. One, there will be no postponements. There will be no moving of games.
Just peace out.
If you can't play, you lose. Two, if you're vaccinated, your life gets a whole lot easier. We were testing only once every 2 weeks for vaxxed. Probably move it down to every 7 days, but testing is easier if you're vaxxed. This morning on, what is normally KJZ, but Bart Scott was sitting in this morning. I want you to hear what Bart Scott says. Now, he's a retired football player, but I do think that he does have the attitude that most NFL types have about the season and its importance about winning games.
But listen, where's the leadership, in Buffalo? When I'm talking about the peers, right? Because you need tremendous leadership in that locker room. And they're like, what are you talking about, Bart? Tremendous leadership. Well, if a player like that is in the locker room where it's a sacred place and they don't have their mask on, who's going to have the kahunas to step up and say, you know what, man, put your mask on? Because that's where players are going to get laxed at. And that's where players are in the closest proximity when everybody's waiting in between meetings, waiting between lifting weights. And you're there, and that player sitting there, and he's next to somebody. He know he's not vaccinated. You don't know what he's doing in his nightlife, who he calling over, his house, who he's spending time with at his house, and then he's not doing that. Are you gonna say, if you're Josh Allen, you're gonna say, man, you got to put your mask on? You know what I mean? Because there's cameras in the locker room as well. So listen, I told you, if I lose a game check because a guy like Beasley or something cost me a game, I will punch him in the face.
That is
simple as that.
And that Dan, by the way, that part, that's hot news.
There's no vaccine for that.
Is hot news. Dan, thanks so much. Good stuff.
We need more guys to talk about it like this, because he
was just talking more about, to me, it was more about like him getting caught without the mask and nobody addressing it.
He's about taking the responsibility of knowing that a team means I got your back.
Right.
A team means I have no fear. I go do my job. You will do your job. And if we all do our job, we will raise a trophy in February. Right. That's what you go into the season with. And what Bart Scott said, I think, needs to be spoken of more. The locker room is sacred. The NFL can enforce or inflict rules on you on a variety of things. They can inflict them. Enforcing is another thing. They can enforce it with a fine, but that's after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at a team like Buffalo, and we'll start throwing in Tennessee, though it's kind of a different
I think situation. That was totally different, right?
Because their quarterback said, I didn't want it, but I did because they wanted me. I mean, Tannehill said I wasn't going to get vaxxed, but it was going to be so difficult not being vaxxed. I went and got vaxxed. We're now talking about in the locker room, and we're getting to the point where paychecks are going to be on the line.
Right.
These guys have not been paid. Not a single NFL football player has been paid since the last game of their last season. They haven't been paid. You only get paid after your games. Now, they're getting some per diems. Everybody getting some money. But checks start coming next week. 2 weeks.
Great point.
Now we're talking about losing money. And Bart Scott and everybody else, they pay attention to two things: who they're playing next and their wallet.
And Cole isn't Stephon Diggs. And I'm a Cole Beasley fan on the field.
And makes it even more importantly, Rudy, is they went and got Cole Beasley for that leadership. They brought him in as a seasoned vet that would help the wide receiver room, that they were going to go get a Diggs and they were going to add some young talent. And Cole had proven to be a consummate pro. Well, one of your team leaders is anti-vax. So you got who in the locker room in Buffalo and all of these other teams, the ones that are mostly vaxxed, have strong leadership in that locker room. There are guys in that locker room, when they say something, rooks, second and third year non-vested players, they listen and they do.
And it's as crazy as it sounds, in pro sports, it all comes back down to your production, right? So, Nick Bosa, some weird behavior on social, right? Before he got to the league, some weird stuff he liked. Mm-hmm. Guys were kind of like, then guess what? He gets 12 sacks, and everybody's like, "Hey, man, if you over there, that's you." Okay. So when you're Kirk Cousins and you're Cole Beasley, you're not going to get that Nick Bosa treatment, especially when we're talking about this. You know what I mean? When we're talking about things of this nature. So like Kirk, like Trubisky outplayed you, and you got $84 million, and you anti-vax, and you're supposed to be our leader. He's not going to have the respect that a Nick Bosa is going to get. You're not, again, it's crazy. This is football. In football, you can have your different Josh Allen. Some weird things when he's 17, 18 years old. Oh, he can sling it 80 yards on a rope. Hey, man, that was the past. You know what I'm saying? Cole Beasley and Kirk Cousins, y'all aren't going to get the benefit of that. And that's why Bart Scott says, look, I'm going to end up checking him. And if he ends up getting me contact traced and I lose a check because of him, punching him in the face. He's not going to say that to Stephon Diggs. You see what I'm saying? So you got to also remember who you are.
Well, he might.
You got to remember who you are, Rob.
We're talking about.
You got to remember who you are.
What
and he ain't. And Cole Beasley, as much as I like his game, he ain't Stephon Diggs.
What is your typical NFL playoff check? What do you get paid for a playoff game?
Like the extra on top of whatever.
What's the NFL playoff check? So last year in the end of last
like $40K.
Season, the average check is $33,000 goes to division winners playing in the wild card. Non-division winning teams in the wild card get $30,000. Conference championship games are worth $59,000. The winning team in the Super Bowl makes $150,000, and the losing team makes $75,000. Now, there's 5 guys on every one of those rosters where that's chunk change.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
The couch.
There's
it's
5
in between
guys
the couch.
where $30,000 for the win. I made that anyway. I sold some more shoes last week, but most of the guys on that 53-man roster, $30,000 means something.
You the guy running
means something.
You running up and down the field on special teams. You need that $30,000.
You need that money, and you look over and you see Cole Beasley wearing his mask off his nose like his pants are unzipped, walking around saying, "I don't need no vaccine." Well, dude, you got an $11 million contract. I'm playing for minimum. Put your damn mask on. You're taking money out of my pocket. Amen. That's where we're starting, and it starts this week.
Amen. I'm with you. Bart Scott's crazy. I don't want no problems with Bart.
And there's a Bart on every one of the teams.
Yes.
And just hope they're all aimed in the same direction. You're on R&R in the morning, and this is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is the place where time stands still. With each down is a battle of inches.
How about 83 yards from Prescott to Elliott?
This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Welcome to Texas, where your backside will sizzle like bacon when you get in your car, unless you go to Mother's Window Tint, home of the Tint and Alarm Special, where you can also buy a new car stereo. Since 1984, Mother's Window Tint has tinted cars and trucks to keep them cooler and stop the sun from damaging their interiors. Texans like dark, privacy window tint. Come to Mother's and get some. Legal and guaranteed a lifetime. Remember to protect yourself and your family. Buy an auto alarm today from Mother's. Starter kill, remote start, GPS locator, 24-hour live monitoring. Save $100 on the tint and alarm package of your choice. Austin and San Antonio stores. MothersWindowTint.com. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like you're going 100 miles an hour, barely keeping up. But to cruise through challenges, you need someone who's right there with you. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the tech advice you need to get past whatever's in front of you and get to where you want to go.
Call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL and do more with modern devices and Windows 10 Pro.
Can I get a chair that'll turn my home office into a corner office?
It's possible.
How can I feel as good at the end of the day as I felt at the beginning?
Staples Connect makes it possible with all the innovative tools you need to work from home. And right now, get up to 40% off select chairs. That's up to 40% off chairs that roll, swivel, tilt, and turn. Discover money-saving deals, work from home tips, and inspiration at staplesconnect.com/furniture. Staples Connect, the working and learning store. Ends 8/28 while supplies last. Prices may vary online.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
The Saturday Morning Hangover. Saturdays 9 till 11 with James Pledger and Jack Thompson. Roll out of the sack as the guys recap the weekend sports and deliver in-depth takes on the weekend's upcoming action on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hi, it's Jason Minix from The Blitz. You're listening to San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Thank you, Jason. Hope the Foo Fighters were fun at the Forum last night. I'll be sitting in for Minix today at 4 o'clock with the Blitz, joined by Michael Menace and Quinn Hudson as we take you into the weekend. And I believe we'll be joined with RJ Ochoa. Halftime in a couple of hours. Rudy's going to hang around here for a little bit, sit in with Karl Schoening as they dive in a little bit deeper to the daily headlines on halftime.
Oh, yeah, I got beef with Karl. He suggested that Tony Parker's better than CP3. We got a problem before the show even starts.
Got a finals MVP in his name.
We got a
more
problem.
rings, scoreboard.
We got a problem before we even kick this thing off.
Chris Paul ever lead the league in points in the paint?
I'm gonna go onside kick soon as halftime starts. Soon as halftime's over, onside kick, Sean Payton, Super Bowl. That was big cojones. Big cojones. I'm going onside kick soon as the show starts.
I had forgotten that Tony Parker led the league in points in the paint that year. That is the strangest stat.
Life is good when you play with Tim Duncan.
Well, yeah.
Life is good when you play with Timmy D.
When a
really good
6'4" point guard leading the league in points in the paint. Well, guys, we have actually made it. We have college football tomorrow. It is week 0. Games to be had. It's not
week 0
marquee material, but it is actually on. Are you
more excited for week 0 college or Friday Night Lights?
Well,
because week 0 is kind of weak, or no? Or am I wrong?
It's weak.
But it's football and it counts.
When was the last? You're a Roosevelt grad. When was the last football game you went to?
It had to been. It was last year. I think I went to. Or right before COVID.
So you've gone
before
recently.
COVID. Yeah,
do you only go to Roosevelt games, or you go to?
No, my brother-in-law's son went to Madison.
Oh, okay, so you had a reason to go.
I would go check him out.
You had a reason to go.
Yeah.
You know, my high school, South San West Campus, Fighting Cougars, they are back. They are real, and they actually have football. They're back. But my high school closed down, had been shuttered for a decade, and they've opened back up. So it wasn't my alma mater to go to, and quite frankly, it's a long way away. It's a 45-minute drive for me to get back down to where I live. So I haven't been to one of those. My kids went to Central Catholic, and they were basketball teams, and I love Central football games, but I haven't been back to that. So it's been a bit since I've been to a high school. Well, that's for personal consumption. I've been to our broadcasts
working.
I've been to those fairly regularly. And tonight we will start our Friday night coverage. Karl Schoening will be on the call. We got a good game. What a great way to start out the season. There's several around San Antonio. Johnson and Wagner.
Yeah,
powerhouses both.
I'm down.
Coming in, and we'll get that going tonight at 6:30.
We got football. It don't matter what night. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we got football, and it counts.
Tomorrow we got Nebraska. Taking on Illinois. Little Big Ten matchup early in the season.
That's legit.
So there is legitimate football there. Fresno State, we're taking on UConn. UCLA, Hawaii. Respect.
I'm down with UCLA,
Hawaii. A little
Hawaii.
bit there. I think that is going to be worth watching. New Mexico State going to be taking on UTEP. Backyard battle there. I'm sure there's some split allegiances there.
UTEP, home of Aaron Jones.
So we have football. It is finally here. Go find your place to watch it, settle in, because from now until February, every weekend will mean something. No more of this. Who are they going to play, and why aren't they naming their starter? Starters are getting in there.
Are you watching Woodley Paul?
No. No, I only watch real sports.
If I want fighting, Rob.
Okay. I mean, if I want that, I'll tune in wrestling.
No,
because at least I know
it's
that
one of those
plot
things.
will continue.
If I caught it, so like say, let's go say I go to Twin Peaks and there's no cover. Yeah, but I'm not gonna buy that.
Only if I knew that Jake Paul would be bleeding at the end, I might pay for it at that point.
You have a problem with Jake Paul?
You know what? I shouldn't. Go make your money.
I know.
Go make your money, man. Who am I to say?
But I feel you. It's aggravating to see that. Like this YouTuber become fighter. But I think he was a wrestler in college. I mean, in high school, him and his brother. But I know what you mean. 22 million YouTube subscribers, and now he's a fighter.
Just somebody needs to
Yeah, he needs his butt kicked.
He needs to have his butt kicked. It doesn't matter because it's all fake. I mean, the pre-hype
press conference
trying to
and all
go
that,
on,
yeah. Definitely
go
fake.
all Conor McGregor on us. Hey, real quickly before we leave you, I want you to do a couple things for me.
What's that?
I want everybody to go to sasportstar.com. I got too many tickets. We got to start giving these things away. So we got the Texas kickoff giveaway. That's for September the 4th. Texas Tech will be down in Houston playing them Houston Cougars in the Texas kickoff. Listen all to R&R and the halftime and the blitz, and go get yourself registered to get those tickets. And that's at sasportstar.com. Also, we're giving away Dallas Cowboy home field tickets all season long. So while you're signing up for those, go to the Cowboys icon and get yourself signed up. You might very well win. We want to thank Mitchell for playing along yesterday. He won a pair of tickets to go see Jacksonville.
That was a lot of fun, Rob.
Was it?
A lot of fun. They're gonna be laughing about that today when you and Quinn and Michael go on.
Did Jimenez try to do
He tried and it was bad.
Yeah, it's feeble. It
was bad.
It's like a young rooster trying to crow for the first time.
Quinn didn't really try either. You know what I did to him though? I was like, so both of y'all are Rock the Mic winners, right? In different years. They're like, yeah, different years. I was like, if y'all go head up, who wins?
Ooh.
Quinn says, without a doubt, it's me.
I don't know. Every year's been different.
I didn't know y'all had so many people. They told me it was like 80, 90 people that tried out for that thing.
Yes. Everybody wants to be a talk radio host.
Yes.
Everybody thinks they can.
It's a sought after job.
It is. Everybody thinks they can. We have been very lucky. We have gotten winners. I mean, think about
it. You've kept Mike.
With the Rock the Mic champs, RJ Ochoa was our first one. He is now a senior editor with SB Nation.
Wow.
He followed that sports. He took the baton and ran with it.
You might have an eye for talent, Rob.
He'll be on with us today. Our second winner, Thomas Mott, is a local radio host in Atlanta right now. Got a gig immediately. Right now, no, our second winner, young lady, Carolina T, hosting a show here in San Antonio right now. Michael Jimenez and Quinn Hudson hosting a show right now. We have a good eye for talent, and we are going to be doing Rock the Mic, and we want you to submit. It'll be coming in October. We have a tentative begin date of October the 18th. We will be giving away the mantle of Rock the Mic champ the Friday before Thanksgiving. We're putting everything together. You can be a talk radio host if you win this sucker.
I'm going to be Simon Cowell. I'm going to be hard on him.
Oh, it's
hard to get here. I'm going to be hard on him.
What we have found is people start out strong. Yeah. And then it's hard to maintain the steam, and that's why we make it a long process. Hey, hang around for halftime. Rudy J and Karl will be sitting in together. Blitz this evening. We'll have RJ Ochoa, lots to talk about. And high school football is here. Don't forget it's 6:30. Karl Schoenig will be on the call for Johnson and Wagner. Get your chili, your Frito pie, get some nachos, kick back and enjoy the game. Hey, thanks for hanging with us. We're going to practice all weekend and do better on Monday. It's been R&R.
Here we go. The Dallas Cowboys live here all season long. Every snap.
I love it.
Every catch.
Let's go have a day, huh?
Every touchdown.